Hey, welcome to Two Cents episode 83. It's February 12th, 2017, and this is the Live Undoctored News Show we do here at Dollar Reviews. We cover TV, tech, movies, streaming, video games, VR, just about anything that I liked over the past week. As I said, this is 2 cents. The website is Dollar Views, that's dollarviews.net, and I'm Brian Gillis. I run the show, and I'm joined by Stephen Mominex.
Hello.
So, not that much happened this week. I mean, this is a weekly thing. Nothing major, especially in terms of political stuff. It's just like the ball keeps rolling and rolling. But I thought we'd start the show off
kind
with...
of big, I mean.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, the Grammys were tonight. Cool, the BAFTAs
Are they tonight?
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were already over. The BAFTAs happened hours and hours ago. So, like, in terms of award ceremonies, I guess, like, big stuff is happening. But one of the funnier things, they're not funny, like, haha, but because we've covered it, like, 3 weeks out of the last 4, is Shia LaBeouf's He Will Not Divide Us live streaming art installation in New York. The Museum of the Moving Image actually recalled that installation this week. They said that it's become a flashpoint for violence/turmoil in the area, and that they can no longer allow it to go on for just like the safety of bystanders / like anyone that gets involved.
That's
so
justified.
Yeah, it's justified.
Yeah.
So last I read about this, the live stream is down, but people are still out there. So that's kind of cool, but we knew going in that there was no way they were going to do a live stream that was going to last 4 years, 24 hours a day.
I mean, it's a joke. Like, you know, I would have been surprised if they pulled it off, because it's like, well, that's an interesting ambition to have, you know, but...
It's like 3 weeks, 4 weeks is still pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's like, well, okay, it's not 4 years. It's not that shocking that it just went away, but... You know, it's Shia LaBeouf. I don't know. Like, every time he does something now, there's always an element of crazy to it that...
I've liked his art stuff recently, though. The one where...
The paper bag one?
No, that's not art. I don't like being a celebrity. I'm going
Performance
to do
art
the
and all
red
that?
carpet. No, that was just him, like, trying to deflate his assholeness. But the All My Movies thing, where he did a live stream of him watching a marathon of everything he's ever been in a movie theater, and you could come in and watch it with him.
It's kind of the same to me as that other one where he just put the paper bag over his head. Like,
No,
I mean, the idea is cool that you can just go in for free, but
No, the paper bag thing was a reaction to his blimp thing, where he's like, oh, I apologize. Like, that was him trying to come to terms with his celebrity. But what he's been doing over the last, year or so, I really liked also the one where he was, whatchamacallit, he was hitchhiking across the country, just so he can get to know, like, normal people, which is something that you're not afforded when you're a celebrity, especially someone like him, from the Disney factory, who has been famous since he was, like, basically pubescent. So it must be hard.
Justin Bieber is going to go down the same route.
Not even. I mean, Justin Bieber is famous, but in the, like, music way, where once he stops making hits, he's going to disappear, just like Elvis, you know? Like, you only ride that fandom for so long. If you're an
Elvis
actor...
disappeared for a different reason, though.
Maybe, but...
Very
like,
different reason. No, more like Aaron Carter, maybe, although Bieber's a lot bigger.
Well, he's also only been big for some odd years. Like, he started when he was like 12 or 13. I think he's only 21 now. It hasn't even been a decade, and it's also just because...
It's almost a decade, though. I mean, that's
it's
quite a
almost.
bit of time. It's more than most people get.
I think it's
for
more so just... It's like less child star and more so YouTube sensation. He's the first real YouTube crossover success story. So, like, look at Kelly Clarkson, for instance. You can't really name any other... American Idol winner, maybe Fantasia, okay? But, like, Clay Aiken became more famous than Rupert Studdard, you know? So there's something about Kelly Clarkson, though, that, like, a flashpoint, like, everyone is like, oh, I watched that, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, even though American Idol ended last season, it was the last one ever. Apparently NBC might be bringing that back, which is a fucking laugh. But no, I think Justin Bieber's got a couple more years left until he gets tired of it and he just disappears, and then maybe he, like, resurfaces another time. Because he had, like, a Super Bowl commercial that he got a lot of flack for because, quote-unquote, he's a horrible actor. I didn't see it. Some stuff that did happen...
Finest hour on CSI, though.
When he was a dead body?
Yeah, or no, when he got shot. Remember, he was just pumped full
shot?
of bullets, and, like, yeah, it's on YouTube. It's pretty funny. I think he was, like 15 at the time, too, so...
So I
it's
know
like at the height of the
Questlove-
craze, and that's like the perfect thing for Bieber haters to see, just for amusement. So I mean, that was like before he was being an asshole. So it seemed kind of cool at the time because it was like one of those, you know, like he might be self-aware of his own fame at that point.
It's like Questlove played a dead body on CSI or NCIS or one of those shows, and it's like one of his highlights. He actually, like, I guess he is doing the title card on one of the episodes for girls this season, and he made a big deal about that on Instagram. He's like, oh yeah, so I did this. This is bucket list. Also, like, you know, showing up on CSI and like doing this and doing that. So that's pretty cool. Something kind of big that did happen this week, especially if you guys are into video games such as I am, and I don't really care about either of these games, but even still, Ubisoft has 2 delays that are pretty major. The first one being South Park The Fractured But Whole, the sequel to The Stick of Truth. That was supposed to be coming out before the end of 2016, then it got pushed to March. Now it's got pushed to, I believe it's May, so definitely don't buy that one now. Like, there's this whole thing where it's like, you know, a delayed game is better than a rush game because shit, like, you never get that taste out of your mouth, whereas if it's late, then, you know, better late than never type of thing. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I don't know how well this is going to sell now. If it was a Christmas, like, stocking stuffer, it was going to do pretty well. And you still do get a pretty good pre-order bonus. If you pre-order it for the Xbox, PC, or PS4, you get the first game for free. So, you know, if you want to give a fuck you to Ubisoft because you're upset, pre-order the game, download the prequel, then get rid of your pre-order and just keep that game. You can totally do that. That's legal. The other one, though, way bigger, at least in my circle, is Star Trek Bridge Crew, which has also been delayed twice now. This one is a cross-platform multiplayer VR game, so it's going to work between PSVR, Oculus Rift, and HTC Vive, and it's exactly how it sounds. You, and with, I think it's like 6 people total, are the Star Trek Bridge Crew, and you're like doing a mission together. It's like, oh, like, do this, do that. Like, I think it sounds real fucking boring, but it was going to be, first off, the first major, or is going to be, it hasn't been canceled, first major VR game with a huge license behind it, and then also just the next in line of several cross-platform VR games, which Ubisoft has several of: Eagle Flight, Werewolf Within, and then the other big one that's not by them is Valkyrie. So there's like 3 right there. This is going to be number 4.
Well, what's the reason for the delay? Just they're not...
Who the fuck knows on either account for both these games?
I mean,
generally
for
speaking,
VR, like, I could, if I have to guess, just for cross-platform, maybe it might take a while, but then I don't know. That seems like that could be the excuse.
This was initially said to be a launch title for PSVR, and then that got delayed. And then same thing with South Park. It was like, oh, holiday. And now it's sometime in the future. And it's funny because Star Trek Discovery, the new CBS All Access show, has also been delayed. So just not good stuff for the 50th anniversary of Star Trek.
Wasn't that last year?
It's still ongoing in the same way that they still called this the 75th anniversary of Batman, even though that was like 3 years ago. It's just, I don't know. But yeah, not great news for Ubisoft. Good news, though, for video gamers. E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo, the biggest video game expo every year that happens in Southern California in the middle of summer, is finally going to be open to the public this year. Weekend passes are not cheap. They're $250 to experience the latest in gaming. But if you don't make it out to CES or Tokyo Game Show or Gamescom or even PlayStation Experience, which I went to, this is the one to go to, play lots of stuff on the floor, watch the press conferences, lots of cool stuff. I doubt I want to go at that price. It'd be awesome if I could go for free, either through like work related or get a press pass through the podcast.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I do live right here. I've always kind of wanted to go. But it's also the same thing, kind of like Comic-Con. I don't want to go because I don't want to be around that many people. And in the just couple of experiences I had this summer between PlayStation Experience and GameStop Expo, waiting in line for like even 30 minutes to play a game that's only like a couple of months away. You know, 30 minutes isn't bad, but some of the bigger titles, for instance, Mass Effect, which I'm not interested in, I'm sure the demo for that, the line's probably be like 2-3 hours.
Yeah, well, you're not a fan of waiting in lines in general, are you?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of lines. Actually, Mass Effect comes out, unless that one gets delayed before E3. The better example would be like the new God of War.
We'll see if you went there for that stuff, you'd go with friends, wouldn't you? I mean, that's the only way that you can handle going in lines, is you got to talk to the people that are there, whether you're friends or people that are just there with you.
Even still, though, I went with friends to PlayStation Experience. I brought my Vita. I was playing games in line between that and checking my phone. And, like, I had more than enough things to keep occupied. It's just, like, I don't know. Like, it's like you said, I don't like waiting in lines. When I go to the movies, I either prepay my ticket or use the automated box office. Fast food, like, if there's a line, like, I might just go somewhere else. There's just something about a line. I'm not a fan of it. Like when I'm at work, when people are being patient in line, they're not making a ruckus. Like I'm so thankful. I always like after a certain amount of time, like thank you for being patient, because I understand. You know, even if you got the distractions, like I said, even if you have friends there to talk to, eh, it's like I'm gonna wait in line to do something that's gonna entertain me for like a couple of minutes. Like it's a demo, you know, you don't get to play
Yeah.
it for a long stretch of time. Like maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes max.
No, it's like, yeah, I mean, something like that or Comic-Con, like even then I'm just kind of like, really, would I want to stand in line for a panel? Like, you know, it's
Right?
not my crowd, and I'm just going to read about this on the internet anyway.
Yeah, PlayStation. Well, that's the difference, though. At PlayStation Experience, even though I didn't get inside the main panel, I was outside and watching on Jumbotron. And I saw a direct feed, so it didn't have a delay like online. And just being around that many people and us all getting excited at the same time, because we were all, you know, very not just knowledgeable but excited about the same things. There was just a real cool feeling about that. It would have been better, obviously, inside the building. But then it's funny because the actual panels across that weekend, the big one for The Last of Us Part 2, I was just eating lunch with my friends, and we were just sitting there like, nah, well, we don't got to be in there.
You'll get the game when it comes. It's cool.
Yeah, we'll get it. But, yeah, I don't know. It's different kind of being at the source, like being able to make your own opinion. It's kind of like what we were talking about last week in terms of fake news. When you're actually there, when you're an eyewitness, when you are the person
And
that
everyone's
matters.
got the urge to say that they were there first, you know?
Less that. Just it's
That's gotta be
cool
a factor of
to
it, though.
just being able to make your own opinion instead of having to rely on someone else's opinion and their information to get knowledge from. Something like that. Video game related though, before we get into the movie teasers here, Valve, one of the co-creators behind HTC Vive, also the people that created the Steam marketplace, the biggest video game marketplace on the planet, kind of pushed Xbox and PlayStation, even Nintendo, which is still doing shit with their eShop, to get their act together. They haven't made a game in quite some time, or at least a big one. They announced this week that they're working on 3 full-length VR titles for either the Vive or its successor. And this is big news. It's not even just like room scale. They were talking about house scale VR. Who knows what this is? Hopefully Portal 3. That would be amazing. That's what everyone wants, especially because this week there was someone, a dev, I think his name is Kenny W. Dev. If you go to Twitter, you'll find him. He made a HoloLens augmented reality Portal demonstration, which everyone online is going crazy about. You can find this on YouTube. It's literally you make an orange portal, you make a blue portal, and then you can pick up a companion cube and throw it through there and watch it in real life, placed on top of your actual reality, going through these portals. It's not a game or anything. It's it's HoloLens. It's still in beta essentially. Just the fact that someone is taking a beloved franchise like that, and mind you, I'm looking at some Portal 2 Legos right here, which I'll get into a little bit later during Penny Thoughts, and already having something to show for it. That
I can already tell where that's
for.
going.
Oh, you will know. Actually, you don't know. You'll find out though.
I can vaguely tell where that's going.
But yeah, I'm very excited for this. Obviously, this would be on HTC Vive first or successor, but they'd be real stupid not to put it on Oculus Rift and PSVR. And I can't wait because out of all the things that I wish I had a Vive for, it's basically it's a tech demo where you're inside Aperture Science Labs, and I'd love to be within that world in VR. So that's very exciting. The big news item that happened this week, though, we're not talking about headlines, that's later in the show, this is still a teaser, is a Kevin Smith thing, and it is timely. Last week we were talking about the 10th anniversary of Smodcast, named the episode Views Askewed. Kevin Smith made that announcement that we were talking about. It's pretty awesome. I'm sure you read about this, but I'll tell our audience
I have
anyway.
not, actually. I do
Oh,
not.
you're going to love this
Is
then.
it Clerks 3?
No,
Then
almost.
I don't love it.
Kevin Smith, he's been busy writing a Jay and Silent Bob reboot. That's the name of the movie, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and the reason is it's about them going back to Hollywood to stop a Blunt Man and Chronic reboot from happening.
Okay, I'm sorry, I really don't love it. I
love this idea. I'll tell you
know
why.
Okay, I mean,
Let me
Jay
tell
and
you
Silent
why.
Bob is a fun movie that, it's a fan service movie, and this could totally be that, and if I watch it, I'm sure that could be cool, because that movie's funny. I hope it would not be, suffering from sequelitis and that it tries too hard to reference the other movie, but then again, Jay and Silent Bob also is playing on the other View Askew movies that came before that, so...
Okay, look. Silent Bob Strike Back is Kevin Smith talking about why are all these studios trying to make superhero movies. And now, studios are
before
making...
that even started happening.
But it was already happening. Now, studios are making reboots of superhero movies, and so he's going to be talking about that. The reason this movie's
It's not
existing,
reboots,
though,
it's multiverses.
and reboots.
We're past the age of the reboots
No,
now,
we're
for
on
most
the
part.
third Spider-Man. We're on the third Halloween, which we'll be talking about later. We were supposed to have the third Friday the 13th this year. Technically, I would say the third Ring, because that was a reboot of adaptation of a Japanese movie.
No, the third ring's it's a direct continuation, I think.
It's still a reboot in the same way that the Evil Dead is a reboot, even though it's tied in a certain way.
Yeah, but
you
I mean,
know?
when you get to horror franchises, that's the thing. That's dying financially, is trying to revive already established horror franchises. We're in a different age of horror now. So
Okay, well, Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman is a reboot of a reboot.
Okay, but that's, and again, something that's building into a multiverse.
Eventually.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's
the
the
reason
plan, really.
this is existing, it's a Jay and Silent Bob movie. He talked about all in this Instagram post. If you don't follow Kevin Smith, the best way to do it is Instagram. He's really prolific at that. He approached the stars of Clerks 3. 3 of the 4 of them said yes, so they couldn't do it all. I would assume that's Rosario Dawson, because what the hell are Dante and Randall doing? Obviously, Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith are free. It would have to be Rosario Dawson. Makes sense because she's Batgirl now. More on that later.
I don't know. I mean, has God, what's his name? Jeff Anderson. Like he's
got nothing to do, man.
Yeah, but he's not gung ho about it, I don't think.
Still. Anyway, the real thing is the Clerks IP doesn't belong to Kevin Smith. Neither does Chasing Amy or Dogma or anything really. However, he always retained the rights to Jay and Silent Bob, so he can freely make a movie about them and also do a View Askew universe, which means, your favorites could appear. Banky, Holden, Chris Rock, Shakalaka Luther, like any of the characters that have appeared across the universe can clearly show up. He's already on his second draft, so this could be filming later this year, possibly. My hope, though, is this movie comes out. Maybe it's not the best thing on the planet, but it comes out and it makes enough money that the Weinsteins or Miramax, whoever owns the rights to Clerks, goes, yeah, let's make a Clerks 3.
Yeah,
let's make that third film.
Yeah, that's all I really want to see at this point, honestly. Like,
I want to see the
what's
Mallrats
the deal with that
TV show.
Mallrats TV show?
Yeah, I want to see Mallrats. I'd check that out.
Yeah, I'd watch it, but for a bit. Although,
as long as it's not a vehicle for his daughter, because I already saw Yoga Hosers.
Probably could be.
It probably will
be. Could be. Yeah.
It'd be cool if. I don't even know how. Maybe it's like Silent Bob has a kid. That'd be the best way to do that. Who the mom is, who the fuck cares? But Silent Bob has a kid, and then the other characters from Mallrats also have kids, and all the kids hang out together, and then the parents show up on occasion, like those are the guest stars on the episodes. Mm-hmm. But I think that's kind of been not scrapped, but definitely put on the back burner. All of his energy is being focused on this. What he probably did was he was trying not to think about the Batman movie losing its director, and good thing too, and he went to work and started typing away because Warner Brothers have found their new kid, unless things change this week, and it's Matt Reeves, which is probably the underdog that is a perfect choice. He's had success helming a movie that is a reboot after the first installment lost its director, Planet of the Apes. He's worked on genre films such as Cloverfield, and he's not a big name, but he does big things behind the camera. So I'm excited.
Even with smaller budgets too. I mean, like Let Me In is something that so many people forget about. And
Still haven't seen it.
No, you saw Let the Right One In though, right?
Yeah.
I like Let Me In better. I'm more likely to watch that one. It's really fucking good. Like I mean. I wonder at the same time if he works for a Batman movie, just because the slow-paced nature of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and Let Me In. Like, when I see that, it's like, okay, I get a better sense of what kind of filmmaker Matt Reeves is just with those two movies rather than Cloverfield. But at the same time, man, he's, like, with those two movies at least, he's proven he's skilled enough that, absolutely, that's cool.
Yeah, he can totally make a blockbuster. He has a great track record. This is his first time doing a comic book movie. But even still, I don't think that matters in today's age. Like, look at fucking Colin Trevorrow. He's going to be directing Star Wars after doing
9,
Jurassic World.
Yeah.
And he went from a really, really small indie movie to making one of the biggest movies of 2015.
Yeah, no, but I mean, when you get to like Cloverfield, like that's the thing. Even when someone does a found footage movie, it's, they're really just kind of a slave to that gimmick. You don't really get a sense of what their style is. Like, right now people are saying that Split, that's M. Night Shyamalan's comeback, because that is undeniably his film. But The Visit, that's a found footage movie. Like, and
Still
sure,
wanna
you can
see
find
that,
things.
man.
Yeah, no, it's really good, but like,
Yeah, I saw half of it.
he does a good job with it, and it definitely has some of his M. Night isms in there. But it's
It's the
like
bees!
Split is undeniably his movie. Like that's him using his
Yeah, supposedly
his style
he's-
to it, whereas he's totally just a slave to found footage for The Visit.
He supposedly already
And he
has
just quoted
like
The Wicker Man.
the
didn't he?
bees. No, there's
Oh, no,
bees
you're
in
doing
the
The
happening
Happening.
too.
Okay, yeah.
They both have bees.
Yeah.
Supposedly he has like a 13-page just like mock-up of a Split sequel, which would be weird because that would be his first sequel, and in my opinion, you don't
can't,
follow
no comment.
up.
I don't talk about Split if you
No,
haven't seen it. Just
I
don't.
haven't seen it. I'm not talking about spoilers. Just in terms of you make a comeback movie, you don't follow that up with a sequel to the movie. That seems like a bad idea.
I can't say anything here. And it's absolutely a good idea, and I cannot tell you why.
Okay. Well,
You have to see it.
I'd rather see an Unbreakable sequel, to be honest. That would be awesome.
Honestly, it makes total sense why there would be a Split sequel, and you just go see it this weekend, man. Go see it
That's
soon.
I'm seeing John Wick 2 this weekend. I saw
Okay.
Lego Batman this past weekend.
Hey, Split was worth it. I
I'll
mean,
maybe I'll wait on Split. Like if I had someone to go with, sure, but I'm sure anyone that wanted to see it already did.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's a dollar theater watch, but at this point, it's gonna be on home video in like less than 2 months. Like
just watch it as soon as you can.
maybe I'll just wait till October. It's only like 7 months away now.
If you can avoid spoilers, but because I'm kind of biting my tongue here. But
No, I haven't. I literally haven't had it spoiled for me. I haven't seen anything on the internet,
Good,
which is
good.
surprising considering it was the top grosser 3 weekends in a row.
yeah, it broke 100 million. Like that's insane.
Maybe that's the best thing about this Trump presidency is that everyone on social media is so busy talking about that they're not going to ruin media for anyone else. Hey, maybe this is Hollywood's president. Maybe. I don't know.
No, isn't
just
it
thought about
just
that.
when people generally are unhappy in the country, don't they go for escapism?
No, that's what I'm saying though.
I mean,
Everyone
like,
is so
SNL
busy.
SNL is pretty important now when you think about it. I don't know if you've been watching it at all, but some of
I've
their
seen
sketches,
gifs,
like
and I know who shows up. I know the Melissa McCarthy is
the
Sean
one that they did
Spicer.
last night. Yeah, like,
with the Segway like hurting the press people. Yeah, I saw that,
it was funny for the first one last week, but now it's it's just getting pretty ridiculous, but like in a good way for the sake of comedy. But yeah, no, that's that opening, the cold open, and the People's Court sketch. Those were great.
I haven't watched a full episode of SNL. I can't remember the last time I watched
Like
an SNL
all the good
episode.
sketches are on YouTube. That's usually
I don't even
that's
watch
what I
them
watch.
on YouTube. Like the Dave Chappelle episode last season, I still haven't seen it.
Oh, dude, that his election night sketch is fucking
Oh
genius.
no, I'm sure. It's just I still haven't seen it. SNL.
It's 4 minutes of your
has
life,
to-
and it's good.
SNL has to really get someone that I really, really want to see. And I think it's just more so that I learned after a certain amount of time that I don't like sketch comedy generally, and I definitely don't like SNL's comedy.
Were you a fan of the Chappelle Show?
Yeah, of course, but that's
okay,
not
okay,
the,
then
that's
watch
not
that
the thing.
episode. No,
I
because
just
that,
I'm
just no. Those sketches, it's like another episode of Chappelle Show.
SNL's just not my thing.
No,
I think that's
saying,
why.
I'm
I know
saying,
what you're
come
saying.
on.
I'm just
Yeah.
like in terms of that don't think twice movie. I was like, this is kind of like a satire on what Second Cityers are like when they're trying to get in SNL. I was like, I don't really care.
That's fair from your point. I see that. For that movie, that's totally not what that is. Or that's not solely what that is. But I mean, yeah, no, I did grow up actually watching SNL like a lot. I had, when Comedy Central was like doing, they were airing like the 50 best episodes, and I had a VHS tape where I recorded the 10 best ones. And so, like, yeah, I was watching a lot of the famous sketches just over and over again. The Cowbell one, obviously. Some of Jim Carrey's stuff. But,
Jim Carrey.
yeah, I got a soft spot for
Say
SNL.
Jim Carrey?
I kind of peaked early. Yeah, Jim Carrey hosted some great ones.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say that's in Living Color. It's a wrong sketch show. He ran that shit. If you haven't ever seen that, you should. The first 2 seasons are really good.
I have not. No, what I'm talking about are just the ones that he hosted, though.
No, yeah, I know what you're saying though. Yeah, Fox before they did Mad TV had in Living Color, which was the first, as far as I know, 20th. No, because there's like the Red Fox show, but it was done by the Wayans brothers. So it was like produced by and created by Keenen Ivory Wayans, and then Damon Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Sean Wayans, like all of them came out the show. Jamie Foxx, the fucking, oh man, so many people. I'm just gonna stop because I ran out of names. But like every Wayans, even the sisters were on that one. And then like in the later seasons, like that's where Jennifer Lopez got her start. She was one of the Fly Girls, one of like the backup dancers. Real funny stuff like the fireman stuff. Like just go on YouTube and type it in. Like that Jim Carrey is way past what you've probably ever seen of him, unless you've seen his stand-up stuff.
I have not actually.
The kind of like, first off, his Jimmy Stewart impression is awesome. He has this one where it's Jimmy Stewart with
that was on SNL. He did that on SNL, and it was I think it was. I can't remember if it was Jimmy Stewart getting hit with a baseball bat, like seemingly to death, or if it was Jimmy Stewart beating the shit out of whoever was impersonating Al Pacino with the baseball bat.
No, the one that I think that's
what it was. It was Joe Pesci beating the shit out of people, and Jimmy Stewart's impression of that was one of them. That was a good sketch.
No, one of his stand-up bits is like Jimmy Stewart waking up after the nuclear holocaust. Go look up some Jim Carrey before
we'll talk about Jimmy Stewart during Penny Thoughts as well.
James Carrey, rather. That's what he was named at the beginning of In Living Color. Going from Matt Reeves and Batman back to Scarface. Last week we were talking about Clerks, we're talking about Batman, we're talking about Scarface. Scarface got something big this week. Coen brothers are going to be polishing the script. So
nice.
They might have lost Antoine Fuqua last week. They got Diego Luna. Now they got the Coen brothers. I have to imagine they're being very serious about this. I don't think this is going to be straight up remake. I think this is going to actually be good now. Because Coen brothers, even if I don't like their own directed movies always, I do love their comedy. I love the way they can write a scene.
No, yeah, I mean, like,
it's going to be good.
They did a really good polish on Bridge of Spies. Like, you can definitely feel their presence, even though I don't think they did the first draft on that. But yeah, that was like, there were little things in there where I was just like, I can totally see that's from the Coen brothers. Like the sarcastic quips there. Like
not even just that. When Tom Hanks gets his coat stolen, the way that happens,
and then
that was them.
He just has to deal with that.
It was
because they love making their characters suffer, man. What a bunch of sadists. But
let's see what happens to Tony Montana. I want to see how they make him suffer. This is coming out 2018. They already kind of put not a hard date on it, but a hard year. It's going to be sometime next year. It might be a February movie. I think it's going to be closer to like April. I can't see it being summer because 2018, we got the second Avengers, Justice League movie, Avengers Infinity War,
which they're shooting right now.
A new Star Wars, obviously. It's like every month.
Yeah, that's during the summer too.
Every month of 2018 is something huge. So yeah, I'm going February. I think it's going to be like a year from now. Like hard year, but we'll see. Three actually directors left before we get into some more cooler news. Harmony Korine, a lot of people don't like him. He's interesting. Spring Breakers, definitely his film that's been seen the most. He's got a new star to work with. It's Matthew McConaughey. They're working on a film called Beach Bum that was announced at Berlin this week. He's basically going to be playing his stoner surfer portrayal.
Going back to the surfer dude days.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what this is like, and I'm sure by then I'll probably have watched the rest of his stuff. I've seen Kids, which he didn't direct. Really interesting. I think everyone should watch that one. I've seen Gummo. I need to see Julian Donkey Boy. What's the Diego Luna one where he's playing the Michael Jackson impersonator?
I have no idea, honestly.
Mr. Fantastic or whatever.
I've only seen Spring Breakers, and that's actually how I heard about Harmony Korine is through Spring Breakers. So.
Mr. Lonely is that one. Mr. Lonely. That's the one I gotta see. It's Diego Luna, and he's, like I said, he's playing a Michael Jackson impersonator.
I know there's a movie that, there's some people I know that just keep loving to talk about this movie like in a hateful way, like they just hate the shit out of it. Trash Humpers.
Yeah, I have it on my computer. I haven't seen it. Trash Humpers, Julian Donkey Boy.
Yeah, they just love to shit on it.
Yeah, Julian Donkey Boy is his. We kind of talked about it during our Jansen in the Dark episode. Mm-hmm. That's his. The Dogma 95 movie. Yeah. Gummo, check out Gummo, man. No bullshit. When I saw Gummo, I was totally inspired by one of the characters in that, and it was like right before I got my mullet, which I forgot to talk about last week. it celebrated its third anniversary a couple of weeks back, January 31st to be precise. It's my brother's birthday also. So it's 26 years. My brother's junior. Yeah, check that out. He plays tennis in the movie. You can find it on YouTube. Just the casting demo is pretty good. But enough about him. Andrew Stanton, different director, huge thing. Still haven't seen Stranger Things, but he's going to be directing 2 of the episodes this season. That season, of course, drops on Halloween. That's like a big get. Has he done anything live action? He's obviously done Finding Dory, Finding Nemo. Oh, yeah, he did John Carter. That's right.
And I mean, it's good that at least he's getting back in there. Like, I freaking love John Carter, even though that movie was obviously...
I liked it. I thought the 3D was awesome.
With, like, there's a lot of great stuff in there, but it is uneven. And whether that's because the studio did have Final Cut on there, and they had problems with production. It's one of those.
I think the problem is just it's JC. It's another JC movie. We've seen enough of those.
That's not the reason why.
It is
narratively disjointed.
100 years ago, when Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote John Carpenter as a character, it was like the most fascinating thing. Superman didn't exist yet, okay? Yeah. But in a post-Superman world, where you've seen him on screen for like 70 years,
from a modern audience perspective, yes, I can see
boring.
That as a problem. but no, like the movie itself has narrative issues, and that's the last thing. Like, I was willing to buy into the fact that, okay, this was written over... It was the 100th anniversary, I think, at that point when the movie came out. And, like, just knowing that in that context, you're willing to just suspend disbelief for certain things, or at least I was. So that was not my issue. I could totally see how it was for quite a few people, but no, that's not the problem with the movie.
Last director on the docket, Taika Waititi. He's coming off of Hunt for the Wilder People, big movie last year. He's got Thor Ragnarok coming out this summer. That's going to be huge. Hopefully the best Thor movie. It's going to be hard to be worse than the other two. But he's lined up his next film. You might have heard of this project before. I think we've talked about either on the show or just in conversation. He's going to be directing or co-directing Bubbles, which is a fantasy live-action stop-motion adventure that was on the blacklist several years back, which chronicles Michael Jackson's pet orangutan named Bubbles.
I think we joked about this.
Yeah, this is a real thing. He had this orangutan from like the mid to late 80s to the early 90s, and then he was like too big, so they got rid of him, and now he spends his days, he's still alive in like a animal habitat in Florida. I can't wait to see this. I didn't like, yes, him co-directing it is a big thing, but this is actually moving forward. You're going to follow a Marvel movie with a live action stop motion hybrid about Michael Jackson's monkey.
Well, you saw What We Do in the Shadows.
You
have not seen Hunt for the Wilder People yet, have you?
I saw the first chapter, and I was tired, and I went to sleep, and I said, hey, I'll pick this up another time.
But I mean, you could
same
tell,
sensibility.
It definitely sounds like it's in his wheelhouse.
Yeah,
man.
He's a super comical guy.
He's done stuff before then. It's just it's What We Do in the Shadows is the one that really took off, I guess, and got attention. He did Eagle vs. Shark, which I almost saw. When that came out, but...
that was on Netflix for a long time, and I almost saw it, but then it's like New Zealand mumblecore. I'm like,
yeah, and it's one of his early flicks, I guess, so it doesn't have that big of an audience. I don't know.
I have this feeling. It's like once Thor Ragnarok comes out, all these people, because, that's how Marvel fanboys work, are going to go look up his past films. They're going to find What We Do in the Shadows, and it's going to become the biggest thing on the internet for like a whole weekend. They're just like people posting videos of it, or
That's already happened, but
I can see the headline now. /film. Did you love Thor Ragnarok? You're going to want to see the other films the director's done. And it's going to be a clip from What We Do in the Shadows, a clip from Hunt for the Wilder People, and something from Eagle vs. Shark.
Well, we'll see. I mean, at the same time, it's not like Doctor Strange all of a sudden made people want to check out Scott Derrickson's stuff and be like, have you seen The Exorcism of Emily Rose?
It's different,
Have you seen Sinister or Deliver Us from Evil?
I just have a feeling, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is obviously going to be a big movie. People are going to love it, undoubtedly. Yeah. Spider-Man Homecoming, probably the same story.
That got super attention.
Spider-Man Homecoming, probably the same story, but I doubt people are going to see Cop Car because of that. No. However, with Thor Ragnarok, just because of the setup, Hulk and Thor teaming up, plus that tease you get in Doctor Strange where he's involved in some way with Thor also, That's the way that his comedy works, how different that's going to be, plus a couple other things. I see Thor being the big breakout Marvel movie this year, more so than the other two, because we all expect Spider-Man and Guardians to be good. There's no way that, like, it's like that Dark Knight thing we were talking about last week. If they're not great, we're going to be let down. They have to be at least an 8 out of 10.
They'll be good, I'm sure. Like, they'll be fine. I think for me, like, you know, my expectations now just going into a Marvel movie is just going to be like, just make it good. Like, I really don't care. For me, it's like I'm totally fine with them reaching their peak at this point. So, like, you know, maybe it's franchise fatigue, but it's like I'm not expecting big things anymore. You know, like I saw the trailer for Guardians and Spider-Man: Homecoming, and I'm just like, all right, I'll see them, but I'm really not jazzed about them.
Guardians.
So at this point, I'm just kind of like, you know what, just make them good. You know, that's
James
all I
Gunn
need.
was tweeting about Guardians today. He was like, "Oh yeah, I was working with the 3D people. It's gonna be awesome. Like we won the award for best
Yeah, but
3D
they always
on the
hype
first
these
one."
things up. Like,
Well,
you know,
that's not what he does on
like
Twitter
Avengers got hype, the Age of Ultron got hyped to hell, and people were underwhelmed at the end of it. You know, so it's like the more that you build up anticipation like this, it seems like the more people get let down. Ant-Man didn't get any pushes like that. Doctor Strange didn't get like that big a push like that. You know, it wasn't like all eyes were on those movies, and like the less likely that people are gonna pay attention to them. I don't know. I think it might just be an expectations thing, but at this point I'm just kind of like, yeah, just make them good. You know, I'm cool with whatever at this point.
I'm gonna see
once Phase 3 is done, I might just stop.
like there's not a lot of things on this release year that I know for sure I'm seeing, but those 3 films plus Star Wars are. You know, I'm gonna see Thor Ragnarok, Spider-Man: Homecoming, and Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm gonna see those 3 in 3D. Star Wars, I'm probably gonna do what I did last year: see it once in 2D, then see it in 3D, or maybe do IMAX then 3D.
Go to the Chinese, man.
Man, that's so. It's not even the price of the ticket for that one. It's the drive plus the parking cost plus the price of the ticket plus food out there plus the
Get a
traffic
group
back.
going, you know. Hey, historic theater. That's where Star Wars premiered.
I'm not one of
Could be
those
fun.
people. Like, believe it or not, I've like never
I know
been.
you're not, but I'm still.
No,
saying
I don't
that it
mean
would
going
be cool.
out there. I mean group of people. We did a group for episode 7, but that was
your
a
Christmas group, right?
yeah. But that was like the first time I'd ever done a movie group in. Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. Like maybe middle school. I'm just not a fan.
Wow.
I like going to the movies with one person. I think everyone loves that. 2 people, maybe, but more than 2 people, that's a no.
See, I like going alone. I mean,
No,
now
I
it's-
like
it's
going
just
alone
like,
too, yeah.
That tends to be my thing now, where I'm just like, I don't even want to watch movies with people.
It's fun to go
Like
alone.
when people are like, "Oh, hey, let's go to my place and watch Netflix or something," I'm like, "No, let's go out. Like you're an actual human being. You know, we can go out and do stuff." But
That's a whole nother conversation. We could talk about that for 20 minutes.
yeah, we could.
We talked about Star Wars for a minute. Like I said, episode 8's coming out this holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to be Christmas. I think it's December 22nd it is. That's when The Last Jedi is going to drop. Ryan Johnson, we can't wait. But
Yep.
Disney had a big piece of news this week, and it is that the Star Wars land that is opening at Disney World has a date now. It's going to be 2019, which means it's just in time for the end of this current trilogy. So you can go see episode 9 by Colin Trevorrow, then go to Disney World and experience it. 14-acre lot, you can live Star Wars. So that's pretty exciting. And tying into this, it's just timely. For the last couple of weeks, not consecutively, but just in general, I've been like clamoring or going, why the fuck isn't there a spoof movie? What happened to the parody? What happened to Police Academy and Scary Movie and Hot Shots? I spoke a
It's
little
been
too
dead,
soon.
man. There's nothing but like
Nope.
shitty references. That's
Not
what they
true.
are. They don't. They don't make movies like that
So,
anymore.
I
When they
spoke
when they
a
do
little
them,
too
they're just
soon.
shitty references that
No,
don't even have jokes.
You're speaking a little too soon, too. They announced one this week at Berlin. It's called Star Wars Episode. I can't even pronounce it. It's like 35 equals E equals MC squared. The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, Who Went Rogue. I really hope that's not the real title. It's shooting later this year, and it's being done by the guys behind Epic Movie, Disaster Movie,
Okay.
and like the later
Okay,
scary
no.
movie
That's
flicks.
exactly what I'm saying. They're not. They don't make movies that are funny. They don't spoof them. They just take whatever the fuck is popular
Hey.
at the time and make references to it. It's
At least they're
fucking-
making one. Is what I'm happy about that.
No, hell no. From these guys, fuck that.
Hey, this can't
oh my
be
God,
worse
no,
than
the
Dance
worst
Flick
filmmakers
or
on the
like
planet. Fuck that. No, I'd rather have the Wayans brothers than this
no,
shit.
like,
These guys, holy fuck, are they terrible?
Dance Flick, Haunted House 1 and 2.
No. Have you seen Epic Movie or Disaster Movie or Meet the Spartans? Or fucking, what was it, Starving Games? Good God, fuck these
I heard
guys,
the Starving
man.
Games is bad.
Yeah, fuck, no.
Based on the title alone,
make, yeah.
I'm not excited. It's like the worst title. It's like they had
No, it will be so fucking, oh my God, fuck these guys.
I don't know if they were responsible for it. They're probably too young, but before Scary Movie came out, there was a movie that was very similar that had a title like this one that's called like Shriek If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th. Last summer, something like that. Title just like this one. And I've seen like 5 minutes of that, and it's horrible. So yeah, I don't even want to see this movie. I hope audiences don't see it, but I am happy.
It's not a spoof.
Hey, I'm happy.
It won't be a spoof. Don't be happy. No. This is not good
happy.
news,
I'm happy that Star Wars is so big that for some reason someone greenlit a knockoff parody.
But if someone was actually making a parody, this is just them taking whatever's popular right now.
I'll
and they're
take
just
it.
Going to throw in references and be like, "Here, you're supposed to laugh." No, and there's like really bad slaps throughout.
I know you're not going to see it. I know I'm not going to see it. So I don't care.
Yet you're still taking it.
I'm happy. I'm like,
no. If someone said, "Hey, we want to make a spoof of Star Wars," then yes. But these guys, no.
They already made Spaceballs, man. They don't ever have to make another Star Wars spoof. That's the one. They made Spaceballs. This doesn't have to be Spaceballs. This just has to be something. I'm okay with that.
There's very few things. There's very few. I don't really hate filmmakers, but these guys, when I see their names, I'm just kind of like, no. Like, seriously, don't give them a fucking camera.
They already got the camera.
They're
filming that later this year.
Principle, like the laziness, it's like they got this shit. They manufacture this crap down to a science where they just make those movies that are going to sell at Walmart in the $3 bin because some idiot is going to think that it's similar to that thing that they're familiar with is popular.
It's pretty funny. I was at my Goodwill store earlier this week looking for shit. Didn't get any movies. Got a T-shirt for $1 though that I already have one of, but the one I have doesn't have a pocket, so now I got the one with the pocket. Whatever, doesn't matter anyway. So when I was there, I was like looking through the 25-cent movie bin, and they didn't have anything. Literally, all the cases they had were empty. One of them was a bootleg copy for The Day After Tomorrow that had someone's name written on it on Sharpie. That was like, "This is Josue's copy," and it said it like 3 times. And I was just looking at that. I was like, this guy really liked this movie enough that A, he had a bootleg copy, he didn't actually buy it, and B, he had to put his name on it more than once to make sure that no one else would take it. I'm like, dude, you need better taste, and he's going to definitely go see this opening weekend. So have a good time, Josue. I hope you like it. Because that's the thing with these kind of movies. Generally speaking, the people that watch them, especially in theaters, haven't seen the movies that they're even parodying in the first place, which is why they're a hit for one weekend, maybe two.
No. Like, okay, they also did the fucking Twilight one.
Vampire Suck?
Yeah, I've seen what the audience is for these. It's teenage kids that...
Yeah, they're stupid,
Like, usually there's... Okay, the weekend that Meet the Spartans came out, it was competing against Rambo, which... That movie was awesome, and they were neck and neck at the box office. And really, though, what happened was because Meet the Spartans just fucking went away after that, and it was really that movie making money because Rambo couldn't sell R-rated tickets to kids.
Yeah.
I had friends that did that shit too then, like, because I was the only one that was 17 at the time.
I know they didn't do this one because it's actually good, but Date Movie holds up. I saw some of that last year.
No.
Compared to those other ones, like Epic Movie and Disaster Movie.
Worst one, but they keep getting worse and lazier as they go.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch after Scary Movie 3. No, once
the Spartans has this terrible reference where someone just inexplicably, like, Spider-Man 3 was coming out at the time, or it did, and like I think it was Carmen Electra just started getting like the Venom for Venom came out of nowhere, and then the narrator said, "Oh, literally just like Topher Grace in Spider-Man 3." They literally fucking drop it like that, and then had some lame ass fucking fight sequence. It's so fucking lazy.
Yeah, no,
I hate that. I hate those movies. So
I said
much.
I read the title to you. That's a horrible title.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine even putting that on a marquee? You won't. That's not going to happen. I'm here for the Star Wars spinoff.
Those things are not getting distributed by Fox anymore. They're not getting major distribution after Disaster Movie taking so hard. Like, at least major audiences got somewhat smarter. But
I don't remember who's behind this one, but I wouldn't be shocked. Maybe not this one with
Starving
these guys.
Games went straight to VOD for that one. So
well, this one probably will too. But I wouldn't be surprised, given his track record, if Blum made a spin-off, not a spin-off, but like a spoof film. Just given how well he can market a film, especially in a genre at a tight budget with creative control.
There's this movie called Get Out that's coming out. That it's
already
more
out,
like satire. It's out
satire,
next week.
but no, I'm talking about spoof movie. I could see Blumhouse doing that. I can just see it. It could be like, we call it like a Funny House or something. I don't know, like something like that. Blum Funny, like it's a offshoot of his traditional production company, and they just do like weird, outlandish comedic
pitch
stuff.
This to Jason Blum at his desk. I know someone that can get you there.
Me too. Yeah, I wish he was joining us next week. So right now, we could have an ad break. We could pitch your T-shirt, your website, your album, your whatever, your sex toys. I mean, if this is the original Spodcast days, oh, have you used a Fleshlight? Oh, this is better than my wife's pussy. We could do that for you, and we'll tell you why a little bit later, because we do this for free, and you could advertise via Patreon. We'll be talking about that a little later. Right now, it's Penny Thoughts. This is the original 2 Cents closing segment, but now we put in the middle of the show, because fuck it, I run it, and I can do what I want. But yeah, we just talk about any like movies, video games, TV shows, etc., even food on occasion that we've been enjoying for the last week or so, and we want to give you our thoughts. That way you can better understand our viewpoints. So I'm going to start off. I kind of teased this earlier, and almost all of these except one were teased. I did see the Lego Batman movie. I saw it Friday morning. I saw it in 3D, and I didn't go alone. I went with Hamid, whose name, if you are a long-time listener to the show, you might actually remember, or at least his voice, and I wish I could do it. He seems okay. He was applying for some jobs. It was kind of like a haphazard meeting. I want to see him again. But yeah, we went super early. We got the early bird ticket. It was a 12:30 showing. It was super cheap. It was like $12. I think it was $11.50 actually for 3D opening day. Fuck it, I'm always going to the movies that early from now on. I saved myself like $7 versus seeing it at night. That's a lot of money. That's a beer and a half.
I mean, that's the price of my nighttime tickets here, man.
Well, you're lucky. I wish I lived in fucking Texas.
Well, you can just move. A lot of people are doing it. Wait, don't do it because a lot of people are doing it.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing it. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting over. Like, I'm gonna have to move like maybe this summer or next year. I don't know, but.
Anyway, Lego Batman movie, I wish we had a proper review for it, but hey, it is what it is. You couldn't get the tip money. You couldn't go see it. That's all right. You're not missing out on much.
Either, but...
Yeah,
I'm very saddened to hear that.
I really enjoyed the movie. I had a good time.
It's like I hear it's good, but it's like okay, it's like Saturday morning cartoon. Like I will probably
a little bit better than that, but yeah.
In that it's probably like I will rent it on DVD or Blu-ray when that comes out, and I will watch it on Saturday morning.
No, this 3D was awesome. I really recommend seeing it in 3D. Like I think it was Phil Miller. He put it really well. Maybe it was Chris Lord. It was one of them. Okay, Phil Lord, Chris Miller. I always do that. Yeah, one of them tweeted, it was like, seeing a movie in 3D is not really important usually, but Lego Batman, you see this one 3D, it's like you're like in the middle of your kid's toy box and the toys are coming alive. Really true. I was upset at Hamid. He had to sit in like in the back of the theater. I wanted to sit in the front. I love 3D being like right in my face, but fuck it. I went with him. It was last minute. His call. Anyway, not a long movie. It's pretty fun. They took a lot of strides from Deadpool, especially the way it opens and closes. But it's what you expect from a Lego movie spin-off featuring Batman. Yeah. It's what you get. I gave it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. It's fun. There's some not so great parts in it. But I love how they just kind of harken back to the Batman history. They reference every single Batman movie. Literally, including Forever, 66, and the serials. Like the Adam.
Does that include the Batman movie? Yeah.
Yeah, all of them. Like they have I wish it's going to become like a GIF soon, where they have Lego Batman recreate iconic poses from every Batman movie, with the exception of Batman and Robin. For that one, they just show the chest piece with some nipples. What's interesting about this movie, though, is that it was written and the story was created by Seth Grahame-Smith, the guy that was originally going to be writing and directing the Flash movie, which has since lost and found a director more than once and also is getting a page one rewrite now. So I'm like both happy and sad about this because in terms of what he referenced in the DC universe in response to Batman was pretty damn good. I liked a lot of the choices he made, especially just the crux of the story, which is a Batman Joker story at its heart. Really great. but yeah, you can tell that this, just like the Lego Movie or like all animated movies for that matter, are targeted towards a children audience. This is a Lego movie. It was made for one purpose only, and that's to sell Legos and Lego games and Lego video game movies based on movies. And I am part of that. This week I started buying Lego Dimensions, which includes the starter pack and, more importantly, the Lego Batman movie story pack. I've spent a good amount of money, and the reason is that the 99-cent stores, every 99-cent store that exists, but they only exist in California, Texas, and Arizona, I believe, have Lego Dimension fun packs, level packs, and team packs for only $1, which is crazy because the level packs in particular sell for $30 at retail. Sometimes you can get them on sale for as low as $18, but I got several for $1. I'd buy that for $1, and I did. I bought a lot of them, like 28 of them. Most of those are not copies, but I have some duplicates. Namely, for Back to the Future, I have 2 Hill Valley sets. I have 4 Portal 2 sets. I have one assembled in front of me. I also got a Team Ninja, the Team Ninjago pack for someone. But yeah, altogether, I got 28 packs. The starter pack plus the Lego Batman movie story pack all together for like $100, which is nothing. The starter pack by itself is supposed to be $100, but I have like Homer Simpson, Bart, fucking Krusty the Clown, Doc Brown, Marty McFly, Gollum. I got Gimli, Legolas. I got Benny, Bad Cop, Unikitty, Emmett. Like, if you can think of it, like, I got all the Ninjago, I got, like, all the Chima. I have most of the first 2 waves. I went crazy buying these up. I went all over Southern California looking for the stores to find the Legos that I wanted.
Jeez,
and
man.
Most of them I didn't buy retail. Doc Brown, I did. The story pack, the starter pack, I did, but I got them with a pretty good deal. But no, yeah, I did Long Beach, Signal Hill, Carson, Torrance, Lomita, Southgate, Linwood.
You really went for
I did fucking everywhere. I'm going again tomorrow because I got a tip about something. And if I can't go, I already got a deal online that someone's going to ship me the Jurassic World, Scooby-Doo, and Doctor Who sets for $18, which one of those alone is worth $18. So yeah, I haven't even played the stuff yet. I've only assembled one of them, and it's all started in the summer. I got a Wonder Woman set for free, and so I saw this on the internet. I was like, oh yeah, go. They're $1. I went to the 99-cent store. I saw like a whole bunch of them. I was like calling people. I've told so many people this week, friends, family, just period. Just like, because even if you don't want to buy the game, it's $1. Think about it. I got a Bart Simpson's Lego set for $1. Do you want a Lego Bart that you can put on your desk that looks cool? And if you have this video game, you can also use Bart Simpson in the game. It's worth $1.
That costs nothing. Yeah,
it's fucking nothing. Like, you want a real Lego set, you're gonna spend at least $20 to $30. If something's good, like the Death Star, that's like $250. So if you want Legos and you want like actually, marketed items, like I said, you could get Back to the Future, Jurassic World. If you have a 99-cent store around you, even if you don't, you have a 5 or below, which I know they have on the East Coast, or maybe a Dollar Tree. Go and take a look, and if you don't find it, you can get something else. You'd be surprised what you can get at the 99-cent store. Fucking soap, food, like all kinds of stuff. Odwalla juices. Like, they might have got me in the door for the Legos, but I ended up buying like several other things, chips, all kinds of stuff. Like, it kind of turned my perspective on the 99-cent store around.
I mean, like, I've been in there a couple times.
99 cents, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of just like all week I kind of was around Legos, and so I capped it off by going and seeing the Lego Batman movie. And so eventually, once I actually build this game, I'm going to be able to play the movie again. So I have, like I said, I listed off a lot of the characters I bought. In those packs, I have Batman, Robin, and Batgirl, also the Batmobile, and like a bike. So I along with the Wonder Woman I have most of the DC characters they have available. I also have Supergirl. I'm trying to get Green Arrow on my hands. But yeah, if you liked the Lego movie, you're undoubtedly going to like the Lego Batman movie. It's more of the same. It has a more tender core. It's not as fleshed out. It's Chris McKay. He's never directed a movie before. He did work on the Lego movies on like action set pieces. But but the animation is just as good as a Lego Movie, especially like some particle effects, smoke. The 3D was mostly pedestrian, but I really liked it. It did make it pop in certain places. The way it starts is awesome, like the musical numbers there and everything too. It's a tacked on movie. It's a side piece, it's a spin-off. Like, a spin-off movies are spin-off movies. They're never great. But in terms of what this has to say about not just the Batman mythos, but also just kind of like public perception of Batman and how Batman wears many hats, that he can be the campy Batman, the serious Batman, and how serious Batman is campy Batman, and what it says about the Bat family and how that comes into play, and then just certain things, and the cast. The voice acting is really great. Obviously, you got Will Arnett reprising his role from the Batman movie. Then you got Rosario Dawson as Batgirl. Michael Cera is awesome as Robin. Like, probably the best part. He was really hilarious. The only downside to the movie, to be honest, because like you got Ray Fiennes playing Alfred, and then you have, I can't say that's a spoiler, but he could have used his same he could have also portrayed someone else in the movie. But I think the biggest misstep that the film has is the Justice League makes an appearance in the same way that they do in the Lego Movie. However, only one of them really talks, and it's Superman, so Channing Tatum's in the movie for, like, I don't know, like a minute, and it just felt really wasted.
It's the same deal with Lego Movie.
Except in the Lego Movie, like, there's so, like, besides Batman, there's so many cameos, like, they come, like, a million miles a second that you can't really keep track of it. It's kind of like you have to see it again, whereas this one, you can very easily tell who they are. You see them all, and they just kind of, they're just there. They really mean nothing, and then, like, I wish I could get further into it, but I don't like spoiling movies. Like I said, if you like Batman, if you like Legos, if you like the Lego Movie, if you play Lego Dimensions, you're really going to like this. It's a fun time. The jokes are great, and if you got kids or, like, little brothers, they're really going to love it, too. Go see it. I mean, it already beat 50 Shades of Grey and John Wick 2. It might repeat it next week. And they already got
no doubt, actually, because there's really nothing big next week.
Yeah, they got the Lego Movie 2 in the works already, so seeing this isn't going to hurt anything, and it's a good time. But yeah, it's like a Saturday morning cartoon, and it's more of a watch this on HBO when it's streaming type of thing. But I had a great time. I don't regret the money. Maybe that's because I was with Hamid, or maybe it's because it was before work, or maybe it's because I've been looking for Legos so hard this week. But it was like kind of the perfect piece of whatever. The final thing I did this week is play a game. I've been playing it for a couple of days. I've actually was playing it right before recording. It's Day of the Tentacle Remastered, which, as you can tell, is the second version of the game. It's a 1993, i.e. also 2016, point-and-click adventure done by Lucasfilm. So this is an original property. It's produced or published. It was published by Lucasfilm. It was produced by Double Fine. They're known nowadays not for much. Like, you have to really know who they are. They did Psychonauts. They have a PSVR sequel to that coming out called The Rhombus of Ruin, which I pre-ordered earlier tonight. They also did the Costume Quest games, which I love. Those two are awesome. You can get them for really cheap on sale, usually under $5 every once in a while. What are some other stuff? Lots of point-and-click adventures. And so, like Sam & Max also. This is weird. Like, you're supposed to play this on a computer. It makes sense in the early 90s, and now it's kind of weird. So I played it on both my Vita and the PS4, and so there's, like, great cross-save functionality. You can be playing it on your handheld, you save it, and then you can play it on your system and pick it up exactly where you left off. It's exactly what the Nintendo Switch is selling itself as. The humor is pretty good. The voice acting's all right. You can do this cool thing where you can switch render modes from 2016 HD to 1993 shitty at the flick of a button, which is kind of cool to see the jagged edges and like the mono track and that kind of stuff. It has a cool setup. There's 3 characters. They've been displaced through time. So Bernard is set in the present. Hoagie gets sent to the past 200 years, so he's like 1790s, and then I forget the other girl's name. She's sent to the future 200 years. So you have this 200 years plus or minus thing, and they can like transfer inventory items back and forth through time, and the whole point of the game is to use the time machines to get back together to save the world from being dominated by a purple tentacle. It's also a sequel to a game called Maniac Mansion, which you can play within the game on a computer terminal. It's interesting. I'm probably going to beat it tonight, if not tonight, tomorrow. It's I don't know. I wouldn't buy this thing. I got it for free. And then it was also a PS Plus game, so I got it for free twice, technically speaking. It's interesting. It's like a weird, like, just time capsule of what video games used to be. Because when this came out, this was like the pinnacle. You know, this is the same time Super Nintendo was like on the streets, and this is not possible on that system. Even the shitty version, just like in terms of the voice acting, all kinds of different stuff, the freedom. Like there is no game over. There's no deaths. There's no fighting. It's literally walking from one room into a new room, looking for items, picking them up, solving puzzles. Like it's kind of complex. Like it's very easy to play. And I say play like it's not exactly playing. But yeah, it's kind of tricky. Like there's some hard puzzles here or there. It's just yeah, like you can probably beat this in like 5 to 7 hours on the first playthrough. I'm gonna have to play it again to get all the trophies, but it's weird. If you're into David Jaffe stuff like Grim Fandango or Full Throttle, I'm sure you've already played this. And if you haven't, and you have PlayStation, you picked it up as a PS Plus title the other day, hey, I'd say play it. It's a guaranteed platinum trophy if you play it twice. Plus, you can get a lot of trophies anyway, and it's pretty interesting. Not exactly my cup of tea though. Lego Batman movie though, Lego Dimensions, go 99-cent store. Go see that movie. If I had to buy one for $1, it's definitely the actual 99-cent stuff.
Yeah.
But the movie's fun.
I mean, how many of those figures do you have on your desk now?
They're not on my desk. I have Wonder Woman and Portal. So with Portal 2,
are you gonna make a room for them all, or
they're actually very small. They're Lego minifigures. I could put them all on my desk and I'd still have space. I've seen like storage solutions online, like these like milk crate type things you can get from Michaels. I might get one of those. But even on my bookshelf, I have enough room that I could put most of them there. I haven't really thought about where to put them. Most of them are in the boxes still. But yeah, there's a fucking lot. It doesn't even in the boxes, it doesn't take up that much space. Like no more than like I would say 2 shoe boxes. But yeah, it's gonna be fun when I decide to actually cut these open. What about you though? What have you done this week?
Very little. As far as watching stuff, let's see. I literally just got back from a screening of Vertigo, a 70mm screening, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the movie's still great, but
still not a fan.
It's the first time I've seen it since that Sight and Sound ranking, and I'm just like, no.
Best movie ever. Yeah, no thanks.
No,
not even the best
Hitchcock movie. No, Mm-mm. I mean, it's very much a great movie. Like the style and just the general mood of it. Like I think it's probably the best Bernard Herrmann score. Especially just hearing that score during that title sequence in a theater.
Great poster.
It's so fucking just like it pulls you in. It's just like it's really such like a great mood. Like that score holds up incredibly well. It's really timeless. But yeah, no, like it's definitely not the best movie of all time. But I also saw some episodes of Red Oak, so I'm slowly finishing season 2.
Yeah, do that. Hurry up.
Yeah, but the big one, I guess, where we sort of were thinking about having a discussion on it, but then I saw it and I was like, well, should we really? I saw Lawnmower Man.
Mm-hmm. Or The Lawnmower Man, I think
The Lawnmower Man. And, well, you know, my reaction while watching it was, well, there were a lot of things I was reacting to, but basically I had no idea that what I was seeing was a Stephen King adaptation.
It's like barely a Stephen King adaptation.
and a bad one in that it's an inaccurate one.
Yeah.
I also didn't know that I was essentially watching Simple Jack, the movie.
Yeah, Simple Jack, the movie starring James Bond.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't help but like laugh at that a little bit. And like, you know, this movie is so weird, and like there should be things that about it that should be kind of like so bad it's good in like an entertaining way, but then it kind of gets boring after a while. So it's,
well, I mean, it's
just kind of okay.
It's an important movie for a couple of reasons. Number one,
just
it has
VR, really. I mean,
that's not the only one. Number one, it has a really horrible sequel. Number two, it was my introduction to VR, which I think is important. But better off, it was like one of my favorite games that I owned on the Super Nintendo. I had the movie tie-in game, and it was like a traditional like side-scrolling like shoot 'em up kinda with like some puzzle elements. But at the end of every stage, you would go into like this like recreation of the game like in VR, which was really cool on the Super Nintendo. Like it was hard as shit, but it was really cool. But yeah, no, at the time, this is like 92, I believe it is, 93. VR was just getting its push. You know, it's the first wave of virtual reality. And the movie does a really great job, even by today's standards, of kind of just telling you what the technology is, what it's capable of.
Yes, it's the next step in human evolution.
It's kind of true.
No, come on, it's so laughable in the way
No,
that
I
it
mean,
presents it. No,
that's
like,
how the world.
as far as like entertainment, yes, but the next step of human evolution, are you fucking kidding me?
Kinda. I mean, we'll be talking about more VR later in the show, but at that point in time, they didn't know that the technology wasn't good enough, and the world was going crazy for VR. And that film in particular, I would assume, kind of pushed it big time. And it comes full circle because it didn't make the show a couple of weeks ago, and that's why I was the only real reason I was thinking about making a Deaths to Cinema like back burner episode in case of a rainy day. Jaunt VR is turning it into a VR series. I think it's gonna be like 6 episodes or 6 experiences. I think Lawnmower Man in VR sounds like a crazy cool idea. I'll definitely check that out when it
It's
lands.
pretty meta, but I mean, like in all fairness though, for the movie, like I guess I kind of think it's not good, but it's also kind of okay because there's definitely some really cool stuff.
It's
like,
not bad. It's just it's
well,
trashy.
it's like it's bad in like a well, it's laughable, but then it gets kind of boring after a while, so it's not really that
Like,
entertaining. But
I
then there's
personally-
cool stuff like just the VR stuff in general.
Yeah,
is
the VR
pretty cool.
stuff's
When they
cool.
have Jeff Fahey and the kid in Pierce Brosnan's basement, they're playing that one game like.
Where they're flying or
Like
whatever.
yeah, that thing is really cool. Also, I mean,
At the
this movie has a
time-
VR sex scene, which is amazingly
it's
bad,
It's awesome.
but it's awesome. Yeah,
Or like just the sex scene alone, the transformation. It like you said, it's Simple Jack. It's more flowers for Agrenon. But just the fact that you have like this dim-witted like handyman who just so happens to have like a really hot smoking bod, and you have like that scene where the housewife like totally seduces him, and how that like just goes from I don't know what food is to why are you taking advantage of me? Like, I'm smarter than you. I've used virtual reality enough. My brain works better than yours. The way that works,
every person has a Christ complex. Cyber Christ.
like how just that relationship develops in the film. Because I saw that, like, kind of right after it came out. When I lived with my grandparents in Mission Viejo, that was one of the films I saw with them. And so that must have been, like, 97. So it's only a couple years removed. And I remember
Jeez.
thinking, like, oh, man, like, this is awesome. I can't wait to get one of these. And then, like a year later or whatever, they gave us the Virtual Boy for Christmas. So I did get, quote-unquote, virtual reality. Yeah, I am one of those people at virtual reality. My first experience was the Virtual Boy. Come fight me.
That explains why you love it so much.
It's really not
you kind
that.
of grew up loving the idea.
A little bit, but I mean, it's more so like even movies like Hackers do VR stuff. Okay, there's just something about virtual reality. And I've said this so many times on the show, and I'll say it over and over again because it's true. It's just exciting that we've been given an opportunity in our generation to experience a new medium for the first time. That doesn't happen every decade. That happens like maybe every 25 years or so. The last time that happened, like you could say the smartphone, like mobile internet, but that was just the internet mobile. It's been since the internet made a big thing, and that was in the
it's
early
more
90s.
of an evolution of the internet, really, than something that's new. And I mean, I agree with you on that point, but still, this movie though, it's
I think it's
really
a historical
not good,
landmark.
man.
Like
sure,
in
but
terms
it's really,
of the
it's
virtual
really
reality
not
landscape,
good, man.
the place that it holds in terms of just where VR started, how fast that was produced during that wave, and the fact that it's coming back as a Jaunt thing, and Jaunt is at the forefront of making VR content, especially like a serialized or periodic. Just really interesting, but yeah, no, it's not good.
That's the best you could say. Like it's really laughable.
It's
though, just to the
campy.
extreme
It's
that it goes to.
weird. Like it's
kind of fun, but I mean, like
I wouldn't say
there's
it's
so much...
fun. Like just the way
no,
it's
no,
lit,
I
like
mean,
the
just,
musical
there's
choices.
so much bad '90s CGI here. That's
it's
pretty laughable.
It's
but
not even bad '90s.
It's,
It's just '90s.
but that stuff's. I mean, the yellow floating head of Jeff Fahey outside of that house.
Yeah, that doesn't quite make sense. Like why he would
but
have an
it's
avatar
awesome
like that.
Because I don't need it.
It's
to make sense.
nightmare-inducing. Imagine
it's-
watching that
it's
as like an
stupid
8-year-old, 7-year-old. Like that is nightmare-inducing.
That would creep you out.
yeah, I'm sure I had some bad dreams about it.
Yeah, I gotta say though, like even though it's not VR based, really, like even Brain
Almost.
Scan, it's like that's kind of a better version of that.
It's like
Yeah, because it sort of ends up being that, but then not really. But
said
kind of.
Have you seen Hackers with Johnny Lee Miller
I have
and
not. I know what it
Angelina
is,
Jolie?
but I have not seen it.
Yeah, so they have like a VR element in that movie where basically it's an arcade game, just like the game that they play in Lawnmower Man, where Johnny Lee Miller like shows up out of nowhere and he starts playing, and there's this like one kid who's like, "Oh man, he beat your high score!" Like it's so fucking weird, but find it on YouTube. Watch the movie. The movie is like not good, but it has people could watch that now and be like, "Oh man, this is still great social commentary." And also just like the fun fact, the trivia item that Johnny Lee Miller met Angelina Jolie on the set of that movie, and they got married because of that. That's who she was married to before she met Billy Bob Thornton, and then obviously before Brad Pitt. Yeah, people forget about that.
As long as the movie's fun, like that's really what I wish Lawnmower Man was. But
Hackers is kind of fun.
It's just not. Yeah, Lawnmower Man really isn't.
It's more like the cast and the dialogue and just how outlandish it is.
You can it could be cheesy and like fun, but I mean the problem with it is like
super
like
serious.
There was stuff. It just gets boring after a while. That's really it.
It's also overly serious. Like there's almost no fun in the whole movie outside of like the women
but that's
trying
kind
to
of why
seduce
it's fun.
the Lawnmower
Like
Man.
it's so wrong that it's really amusing. Just like how dead serious it gets about it. That I will always remember that Cyber Christ line in this. Like
if you want to laugh, like I said, I don't think I finished it. I must have turned it off. Like it's on cable all the time, so is Lawnmower Man. But they made a sequel. I think it's called like Job's Return or The Return of Job.
I think there's like 3 of them. Did Jeff Fahey come back?
I don't know. They made one real sequel though, and I think the concept is, if I remember correctly, that like he has followers in the near future, and he's become like an actual like messiah figure. I want to say. I tried watching it. It was like the worst like B budget. I want to say it was direct to video type of film. I was like, what the fuck is this? James Bond's not in this one. So yeah, don't check that out for sure. If you like the stuff that we just said, the way we articulate our thoughts on media, not just the news, tune into Dollar Reviews. That's our spoiler-free, no recaps. No recaps. Recraps. That's what I should title the show. No recaps. For new releases, we haven't done it in a while. Like I said, it could have been Lego Batman. It's definitely going to happen in the coming months. Are you seeing John Wick 2 this week?
Probably not.
Fuck off, man.
It's money, man.
I'm gonna see. Well, you could have used your T-Mobile ticket. I got it for $2.
Yeah, I told you what I'm doing on Valentine's Day. I told you why I couldn't do it.
Whatever. Anyway,
I'm seeing our Dead to Cinema movie that day.
I'm working
that day.
Some of the movies we've done in the recent past, we did Elle and La La Land from this award season. Both prone. Well, Elle can't win Best Foreign Film for some stupid reason, but most likely going to win Best Actress. I hope so, because
at the very least, you can see it when it comes out on video or streaming or DVD or whatever the hell. Like, yeah, just watch it.
Yeah. So some of the movies we did this year, we did Elle, La La Land, Green Room, Swiss Army Man, Sing Street. Also, Batman vs Superman. We did Suicide Squad, Doctor Strange. We're almost for sure, no, definitely doing Star Wars Episode 8 later this year. Like I said earlier in the show, Thor Ragnarok, Spider-Man. Most of the stuff we do is that kind of thing. We do the superhero stuff, we do the award season stuff, and just random things too on occasion. When I worked at the AMC theaters in the summer of 2015, that's when we did a lot of weird stuff, most notably Magic Mike Double XL, which is still our most listened to episode to date. Probably for good reason. You can hear me talking about my car getting stolen, among other things, so that's fun. And if
that's the reason why.
Yeah, probably. And if you want to hear more spoiler-ridden stuff for things that aren't recent, we have Debt to Cinema that comes out every Wednesday. Next week, we have My Bloody Valentine, or actually this week, My Bloody Valentine, the original. We were going to have Brendan from Scream 101 coming on, but he got busy because, it's Valentine's Day. That's when we're recording the episode.
Makes sense.
Time Crimes, the week before that, which is a really fun Spanish time travel / time loop movie. I'd buy that for $1. Also, Dance in the Dark, Lars von Trier's Palme d'Or winning 2000 film starring Bjork, which is a weird, just like anti-musical, as Steve put it. I'd buy that one too. Also, 9 Lives by Rodrigo Garcia, a series of short one-take film, like, I don't know, stories, vignettes, sure, about Los Angelino women's. Buy that one too. That's the longest in our show. I think that was 3 consecutive buys for me. Also, some weirder stuff in the weeks before that. Samurai Cop, which is too weird to watch, and so bad it's good, or so good it's bad, or just
better than Lawnmower Man.
Bad. Trick by Paul Verhoeven. He's also the guy that directed Elle. Hey, that's why we did that episode. Mean Streets by Scorsese, quote unquote his first film. And I already got my pick for the week after Valentine's Day. It kind of makes sense. Today's Lincoln's birthday. Next Monday is President's Day, and the Wednesday after that, the episode the day the episode is going to drop is Washington's birthday. Because of the political climate we're in, it's All the President's Men. That's going to be the movie for next week.
Nice.
Yeah, I tried watching it before I fell asleep. I'll give it another go.
All right, just make sure you're awake.
Yeah, I'll watch it in the middle of the day. I'll have some coffee, and maybe I'll jerk off if I get really tired. Some other stuff that we got going on, though. Oh, actually, that's not true. I did the ad break earlier. You could pay us. Steve mentioned it, Patreon. Patreon.com/dollarreviews. All you got to do is donate. You don't have to, but it'd be really nice. If you want to do it the easy way, you could follow us or like us because, hey, this is big news. I didn't do it at the top of the show because, hey, I'm not that egotistical. We're on Instagram now. We got 2 posts, I got 2 posts. So I'm going to try to keep that up. We're on all over the internet, though. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, of course, WordPress, where we publish, Tumblr, which we don't use. And then you also listen to us on Google Play Music, iTunes, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, SoundCloud. Lots of different choices. You can follow us. You can like us. You can retweet us. Do anything. It's better than nothing. If you really want to do it with money because, hey, we give our dollars for you for free. Patreon.com/dollarviews. There's lots of different things you do on there. I'd love to buy more Legos. I could Twitch stream my Lego Dimensions gameplay. Anything, man. Anything, ladies. Anything for you. Here's the headlines, though, and it's mostly tech-oriented. Some movie stuff, too, and then we're going to close out with some VR. There's like one thread that happened this week, and it's kind of major, and it has to do with internet-connected TVs mostly. Or just like the future of content, anyway. So the first thing that's going to start off the chain reaction was that Amazon Fire TV, their department head, has just been poached by Apple to turn around Apple TV. It's funny, too, because this same guy used to work at Netflix before it was spun off into Roku, and now he's at Amazon, and he's about to go to Apple, so lots of experience in the web-connected TV industry. Apple really needs this. Apple TV hasn't had a tech restart in like 4 years or something crazy. The big thing that they did recently was like, oh, now it's got games. Most of that game support's been pulled, most notably Disney Infinity and also like Guitar Hero. So it meant nothing. Like I don't even know why that exists. I haven't used an Apple TV myself, but most people that have them, I don't think they're happy about them. Peter Scretta at /Film definitely isn't. Like he keeps on tweeting like, oh yeah, I want this functionality. Why doesn't it do this? Why does it think I'm doing this? But he's just been crying about everything lately, like Hulu and Time Warner Cable.
Just don't follow him. I don't.
I wish I couldn't. It's like for me to accurately report on the news, I have to follow all of the major trades, and as much as they're not a trade and they're a blog, they're still kind of major. They do get scoops on occasion. Their commentary isn't bad always. Like I like Angie Han. You know, I like.
No, they got good writers on.
They got good writers. That's why Peter's not a writer. He just is a Star Wars stuff, and fat ass.
Just manages the site now.
He doesn't though. I don't think he does. It's like I think he kind of just like. He kind of does like the fucking Harry Knowles thing, where it's like, I used to work really hard, now I have people that work hard for me, and I just get all the money, and I go do fun things, and you can follow me to see what I do. But it's like on occasion, for instance, like Duncan Jones was tweeting about something the other week. He like went into a dialogue with Peter. They had like a little funny thing. I would have missed that if I didn't follow him, and it wasn't like, oh, it was worth following him for. But hey, you know, it's not the biggest problem. But anyway, as much as I hope Apple kind of crashes and burns, Apple TV, if they turn that around, maybe they could turn around the iPhone and finally give you features that you actually want instead of getting rid of features that you wanted. But I don't know. I mean, internet connected TVs, they're kind of a dying breed. It's all going to be within the TV or an add-on, not a box. I mean, Chromecast is proof of that, or even better yet, the Vizio sets nowadays that have Chromecast built in. I know Panasonic's doing that too, I think Toshiba. So most TV makers, they're just opting for that Sony. It's like, well, you don't need a remote control, you got your phone, and if you're using your phone, why don't you just push the content that way? You don't need a dedicated box. And, Apple, maybe they'll get hip to that. Maybe they'll just make a TV. Some of the best products that they make have bin displays, always true. I'm looking at one right now. You can get one of their 5K monitors. Just sell one of those in a big size with Apple TV built in. Hey, there you go. I'd buy that one. Maybe that's what they'll do. I mean, because Fire TV, they're making their own Fire TV integrated sets also at TCL, I think it is. So, no, that's Roku. They're with no-name, like, smaller companies, but those are going to be available soon. So, like I said, this is kind of like a chain reaction, and where it leads to is Facebook. We were talking, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks back, about how they're looking to get into the scripted content / original content long form video industry. Makes sense because they're trying to take over the world, as we all know. They have over 2 billion users, I think, now. But yeah, they hired an executive VP of scripted content from MTV to work alongside the co-creator of College Humor to start their original video content arm. So what's funny here is, like I said, this executive is coming from MTV. This happened this week, in which Viacom tried to do a total restructuring of their brand strategy, which includes limiting new content on streaming service. So like if you watch The Daily Show on Hulu, you're not going to be able to do that again. They're going to pretty much kill that off. Same way it goes with like Teen Wolf and stuff. They're just changing the way things work. They're also leveraging their brand names. So Spike TV is going to become Paramount Network next year. And most notably, they're also going to try to take MTV and bring it back to its old glory, which means less scripted content, more unscripted stuff, and also leveraging their music television naming scheme to make more music themes present in their content. And this also comes at the same time as them killing the Friday the 13th reboot, or reboot, and also they pulled World War Z 2 off their release calendar. So they killed a couple movies, they killed an executive, and they're also killing Spike TV. So who knows what they're doing next. I heard like they're going to try to make more Nickelodeon movies, but I really got no clue. I don't think
what
anyone
else
knows.
Is there? Like, I guess SpongeBob was somewhat successful, right?
It's like they got CBS, they got Paramount, they got
Ninja Turtles did okay, the last one.
Yeah, no, that did pretty good.
I think.
I mean, Sony had this thing this week where they had 2 50-cent rentals. You could rent Magnificent Seven or Suicide Squad for only 50 cents, which is, hey, a great price for 2 movies, even though I've only seen one of them. And then they also have like the new Ninja Turtles for $1. I was thinking about doing that one. I might still, because I do want to see what Casey Jones is like. And I really like that first one. Hey, it's fucking, what's his name? Oliver Queen.
It's Green Arrow.
I don't like him.
I'm just saying, keep your expectations in check.
I think he's a real bad actor. Like Justin
it's a
Hartley.
fun movie, but just don't get too excited. Over
Justin Hartley from Smallville, he was a great Green Arrow. This one, he like never laughs. Green Arrow's a funny guy, but whatever. Can't win them all, but yeah, Friday the 13th. That's just sad. It's so fucking sad. It's like the Platinum Dunes one. I know that didn't do too well, and then the 8 Friday the 13th
no,
sequels.
that one made a shitload of money.
Well, where was the sequel then?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, but that one opened huge. Like, I was working in a theater when that one opened. That one was big. I think that one had like the biggest opening, one of the biggest openings in January at that point, or was it February?
Did that do better than the Rob Zombie Halloween reboot or remake? Remake?
The Friday the 13th. You know what? That one got a sequel because it did well enough. That one came out there in the summer too, and then the second one just
tanked.
Completely tanked. Yeah. Plus, I don't even think they were that expensive. But
Rob Zombie's never made an expensive movie. I think like his biggest one is like $20 million, which is probably the sequel.
Yeah, like I don't even know what the budget was for Devil's Rejects. I think it was like $5 million or something. But
it's funny because like Friday the 13th, whatever.
Yeah,
that was supposed to come out last January, then it was supposed to come out this January, and then they moved it to this October 13th, which happens to be Friday, and now it's gone.
Like, that's funny. The 2009 one, it opened on February, and Friday the 13th opened with $40 million.
That's big.
That was a huge movie.
How?
That movie was awesome.
Lego Batman only made 55.
It was a big weekend. I like the trailers for that remake too. Like they were really solid, man. Like I remember the marketing was actually really effective for that. Like I wanted to see it opening weekend. I did. And that movie was a lot of fun too.
Hope they
like,
just
nothing big, but
scrap
like,
this. This is probably the issue. Okay, this new script sucked. Probably they were really scared about what their next horror film would do because Rings tanked. Make a Jason X remake, man. We've said this before. Get David Cronenberg to come back. I'd watch that.
Make a Jason X remake?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
So just do a sequel, a remake of a sequel?
Yeah.
Like, or are you saying continue?
Reboot the franchise with Jason X. That's where you start. Just outlandish from the get-go.
Just have them like find his DNA somewhere. Sorry. Yeah, thank you.
Joking aside, though, the weird part about World War Z 2 is David Fincher is still interested in directing it. So that might happen still. Maybe that'll be
That
put back
is
on the calendar.
insane.
But
If they're desperate enough, that'd be interesting.
the worst part about this is this only comes like 3 weeks after Paramount announcing that China is going to be like co-financing like, what was it, like $100 million across 3 years or something like that, or maybe it was more than that.
Well, yeah, but then when you think about it, I doubt a Friday the 13th movie is something that would appeal to China.
Even
And
still,
that's got to have a big effect on the decision. Like, is there really any marketing potential there for that?
the point is it's one of their big characters, right? It's one of their big franchises. They don't have many of those. They got fucking Star Trek. They got Friday the 13th. Uh, Mission Impossible.
Well, I said it earlier, but I mean, like horror reboots, that was a big thing for last decade.
It's still a big thing.
This decade is Blumhouse. We're not really. What was the last time that a horror property made big money, just based off a sequel or a reboot recently?
Never.
Like, I don't think that trend is big right now.
But I mean, they might have not been as successful, but they're still trying it. I mean, they had
Oh, they're still trying, but, like,
Halloween,
right now
Friday
it just seems
13th,
dead.
Nightmare on Elm Street, Hills Have Eyes,
Where's the
House of
Nightmare on Elm
Wax,
Street sequel? And that one did well.
um, all of those fucking Frank Castle movie, not Frank Castle, I mean the Castle films, the Ghost Ship and House on Haunted Hill and all of those, like, well, technically that was a decade
Dark
ago.
Castle?
Yeah, Dark Castle, thank you.
You're talking about like the stuff that I think Joel Silver has
Yeah.
his name on.
But
Yeah.
it's funny I bring this up because Friday the 13th just got killed, but Halloween is coming back. Michael Myers is going to be resurrected again. This is going to be technically the third reboot, but the second one proper. And they've got some really interesting people behind it. It's going to be directed by David Gordon Green and written by Danny McBride. And it's going to be
I heard about
done
this one.
by Blumhouse. So,
Wait, really?
yeah. So it's like a co-production
Well,
between...
so much for what I said about them kicking ass and not
Yeah.
taking
No.
franchises.
So it's
it was like they were creating them. Now, shit. Well, that's a step down.
Green and McBride's production company, Miramax and Blumhouse, all working together on this thing. John Carpenter has given them their blessing. This is the direct quote. David and Danny both came to my office recently with Jason Blum and shared their vision for the new movie, and wow, they get it. I think you're going to dig it. They blew me away. I might even do the music, maybe. It could be kind of cool,
Oh,
and you'll get to
man.
see it in theaters on October 19th, 2018. Yeah, this is pretty big.
No, seriously. Like, I had a friend on Facebook complaining about this, and I was just like, dude, the director of Pineapple Express making a horror movie, and it's fucking Halloween. No, I'll totally watch that.
I mean, he's done a lot more than that. Yeah, like
Yeah, I know, no, like, but for what people want,
Eastbound and
like,
Down.
as far as what he's done.
I mean, Danny McBride. I mean, a lot of people are Jordan Peele. Especially he did Ask Me Anything on Reddit this week, and a lot of people are asking him like, what was it like going from comedy to horror? And he's like, no, fucking comedy is horror. Like it's just subverting like societal norms and making it scary instead of funny. It's the same thing. If you can do one, you can do the other. That's kind of proof because if you look at a lot of comedic actors, they do go back and forth, even if it's not successful. You got Jim Carrey with like the number 23, fucking
There's
Robin
4 elements to This Is the End.
Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo and Insomnia, and others that I'm probably missing right now.
Well, that, I mean, just like as far as genres that people watch, like, as movies, they're both the most subjective.
Yeah.
When you get down to it, like,
I
what
wanna
makes
laugh,
people
I wanna
laugh
la-
and
I
what
wanna be
scares
scared.
them, it's not always going to be the same.
Yeah.
Like, you're always going to hear like a divided line there where people say, I don't see why people love this. This isn't funny or this isn't scary.
I generally only do the I wasn't scared or this isn't scary thing. Like,
I think it's bullshit when it comes to the horror genre
yeah,
in general.
well-
It's like, oh, I have to be scared when I go. It's like, no.
we had
fuck
a
that.
really good conversation with Brendan on our Black Christmas episode about this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he recommended me all these movies that I
Yeah.
want to see this year. Wreck and The Descent. Well, I've already seen The Descent, but Inside and that Stage Fright Aquarium, which he was talking about. That one sounds the most interesting. But yeah, for the most part, if I'm watching a scary movie, I want to be scared. That's why you can call it a scary movie instead of horror. I want to be horrified. Like, I want to be like, oh, holy fuck. Like, I don't want to sleep. Like, I want to be kind of fucked in the head and I don't know.
It's like that's what Bone Tomahawk did for me, and like really, it's just 5 minutes of that movie that got to me, and then it held my attention from there.
I'm still split on that one.
Yeah. I know that you lean more one way.
That's a left.
I can't think of any way to keep that going. So.
No, it's but yeah, I don't know if this remakes or reboot actually, because Rob Zombie did a remake. Halloween Resurrection was a reboot. This is a reboot. I doubt I'm gonna go see it in theaters unless there's a trailer and it's awesome. And yeah, John Carpenter does the score. But the talent behind it, I am curious. I'm sure this is going to make a shit ton of money because it kind of has to with these people. Not the writer and director, but just Blumhouse. They know what the fuck they're doing.
They know how to finance.
They know how to finance.
Market it.
Yeah, they get it. They know how to make horror films, or even award winners like fucking
Whiplash.
Yeah, Whiplash. So they just get it. He gets it. I might not be a fan of scary stuff, but like even The Gift, oh man, like that was mostly great. Like they make some good movies. Even if I'm not a fan of them.
Really? The Katie Holmes run? Like, I thought, yeah. No, I thought we were just kind of like, except for the two things on there, but.
You know exactly what I meant.
No, I don't. You're talking about the Sam Raimi one, right?
Yeah, the Blumhouse one by Joel Edgerton.
I'm sorry. I totally forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's okay.
Anyway, talking about the return of Michael Myers, though. Mike Myers is making a return. He's coming out of hiding to play Del Close. It's actually his real-life improv mentor, so it's going to be about his career and how he shaped a lot of people from Second City who went on to do SNL and other sketch comedy and just kind of reinvigorated the improv world. Someone else that's coming out of hiding, this is way bigger. It's been about a decade since he was on the silver screen. Jack Nicholson. He's going to be starring in an American remake of Tony Erdmann, which is one of the films nominated for Best Foreign Film this year. Kristen Wiig is going to be playing his daughter in the production, and Gloria Sanchez is going to be producing. Have you seen this? Have you heard anything about this?
About the movie?
Yeah, Tony Erdmann.
Tony Erdmann. I've seen trailers for it, and
I haven't. I got nothing on this.
Thinking about Jack Nicholson now, it might seem like it's up his alley, but
it would have to.
I'm just glad that he's finally coming out and doing something.
It's been 7 years. I don't know what that movie was. I'm gonna guess it's like the bucket list. Like,
how do you know? The James L. Brooks movie.
Oh yeah,
the one with Paul Rudd and Reese Witherspoon that costs like over $100 million for some reason.
Well,
yeah, that movie tanked hard.
Talking about James L. Woods, my fuck off news of the week. I've talked about this a lot.
I think you mean James Brooks.
James L. Brooks.
Yeah.
No, it's not. This is the fuck off news of the week. Lee Daniels is apparently making a Terms of Endearment remake with Oprah Winfrey. Why?
Well, that's not fuck off news.
That's fuck off
news.
news.
The Jason Friedkin and Aaron Seltzer fucking Star Wars parody.
This is fuck off. You don't remake.
Love the movie so much,
not even that. You don't remake Best Picture winners, and you definitely don't fucking make a black remake of a Best Picture winner.
Ben-Hur.
That one doesn't count.
There's so many remakes of Oliver. In fact, I doubt that the one that won was a remake.
That's a stage adaptation being adapted to the screen.
Okay, Ben-Hur got a remake.
Sorta, except that's a book.
Yeah, but it got a remake. It was
the Best Picture winner was a remake.
Yeah, and the one that came out last year was definitely a remake.
Clearly, but no one saw that. No,
I'm just saying, there's no hard, fast rules there. If you make a good movie is a good movie.
There's a rule here. When the movie's not old, when most people are still alive, when it's acclaimed as one of the true Best Picture winners, one of the best movies of the 80s, I don't understand why you would make a remake and why you would cast, if it's true, Oprah Winfrey as the Shirley MacLaine character.
It's one of those things actually where I'm going to kind of defend on this one because the narrative structure of that movie, it's just like you
like
can't
The Butler?
repeat it. You cannot.
It's kind of like The Butler.
For what, Terms of Endearment?
Yeah.
Really?
Let's follow these characters with elliptic jump cuts between the time frames, and no one else cares. Yeah, I'm gonna go like The Butler on that one.
All right. Well, I still think you can't mimic the style of that movie and just the way that it approaches that story. Otherwise, then it will be a waste of time. You have to at least bring a different experience to that.
I don't think there's.
It can't be the same exact plot points. It can't end the same exact way. Just take the title, take the character names, but by all means, if they're gonna do it, then just make it their own thing. Like
I don't want it.
I'm not gonna say fuck you. I'm just like I hear this, I'm kind of like, well, why? But
I'm saying fuck you, loud and proud. Lee Daniels, I haven't seen all your films, so I don't like
you
them.
can never make Best Picture winners.
I don't like you as a
Around
talent
the
in
World in
Hollywood.
80 Days got a good one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
But this
I
is
like that Disney
different.
one.
This is like Around the World in 80 Days. Number one, that's just like one of the strangest Best Picture winners. Like no one saw that one coming.
That's a boring fucking movie.
It's a way too long, but
Yeah.
that's just like a really weird winner. The Disney one, that was just them going, let's take this cool idea and make it into a fun family movie. Sure, whatever.
Yeah.
This, without a doubt, because Oprah's involved, and if this is true, she's going to be producing it. Maybe like Ava DuVernay is also going to be producing it. You got Lee Daniels, who's already been in the Oscar race before. They're going to be looking to make an award winner. No doubt about that.
Well, that's the thing is like, I mean, if they're doing the black version, it's like
They're doing the black version.
Yeah, then hopefully they can tell a good story there that's true to the black experience in America. If it's a carbon copy of the James L. Brooks movie, then that's where it's like, really, like, that's where it would be a disaster.
I can see it now. They're going to cast Denzel Washington as the guy that seduces Oprah Winfrey.
Dude, you're making me want to see this movie now.
Like, who's going to star in it? Who the fuck cares? I'm not going to go see it. Like, on principle alone, I think the black remake is the worst thing in Hollywood. It is literally going, oh, this movie is already good. It stars white people. Let's make it star in black people so black people watch it. Which inherently is not a movie meant for black culture.
It's dumb.
It is a reappropriation. In the same way that the black internet and black America gets mad at white people for stealing black culture, like Iggy Azalea, and claiming it as their own. This is the opposite of that.
It's a never-ending conversation. I mean,
because they never stop doing it.
Yeah, no, it goes on both sides. It's like I don't fucking know who did this shit first, but it's just a never-ending thing, and I just fucking shake my head and just laugh it off because it's stupid. I mean, all I care about in this is like, hey, if you're gonna do it, just make a good movie. Try to bring something to it. If they do that, then they're gonna end up being free of criticism.
Don't make the movie.
If it ends up being shitty, then
if the news story was Lee Daniels is making a family drama about what cancer can do to a family and bring them better together, and it might star Oprah Winfrey, I'd be like, oh, that kind of sounds good.
Yeah, but you know how execs work. They're not comfortable financing something. Like, they're putting a lot of money forward just to make a movie. They need to see return on their investment. If it's based on something that's familiar that they know they can connect it to, oh, hey, we're doing a remake of this Best Picture winner, then they would feel more comfortable with that.
This is almost as bad as...
They're just investors. They're not looking at it as art.
This is almost as bad as Black Annie.
I mean, hey, it's sad that it has to be that way, but you know what? That's just the way that business works right now.
It's depressing.
I fucking hate this trend too, because I hate, like, it's basically... I'm just tired of franchise filmmaking. It's not just superhero stuff and all that shit. It's like... It's at that point where it's just something I'm used to. And I'm just like, I'm seriously waiting for everything to just implode and for this trend to die because I'm done supporting it.
It's like Hidden Figures. I kind of wanted to see that movie. Proof of that fact is a year ago when for like 2 weeks in a row I reported on its casting and production.
We talked about it.
Yeah, I reported on that shit before anyone that's seen it even knew what it was. As soon as they got nominated for Best Picture, I didn't want to see it anymore. Because what I know about it isn't a Best Picture nominee. Period. It isn't. It is a feel-good, basically Lifetime biopic.
It's The Blind Side.
It's The Blind Side. It's like, this is a movie that the black audience has seen, and they will tune into the show because they've seen it. It's like, no, you should listen to James Cameron. You want people to actually watch the Oscars? Nominate blockbusters for shit. Because, hey, they're generally good movies that deserve some kind of praise outside of the stunt category or CG or makeup. You have the rule that you can pick at least 10 nominees, then every fucking year you should have 10 nominees.
Well, now what is it, like it's 5 to 10 now?
Yeah.
When did they change that rule?
A while ago, like 2010.
Yeah, it's like, and who makes that decision too? Of like,
basically,
we're not going to have a 9th or a 10th.
Basically, the Academy makes the short list, and whatever amount that is what makes it. It's guaranteed to be 5. It can be up to 10. I think it's only been 10 once since they've brought that rule back.
It's been 10 twice.
Is it twice? It used to be in the early days that it was always 10. Like 1939, there was 10. There just was. They didn't have to.
No, and it was like then it went to 5, but then after 2008, because 2008 was such a great year, that's where people were like, no, we need to give more recognition. So 2009 they did that.
Yeah, and like that's why Up got nominated.
There just weren't that many great movies anymore.
Yeah, Up got nominated because of the 10 rule.
Yeah,
and so that was Disney going, hey, we got nominated for the first time since Beauty and the Beast, yay!
It's partly the Dark Knight's fault. Well, not really fault.
No, that was just
people were so pissed that it didn't get nominated in 2008, and that was a big part of that because there was so much shit that year that did get nominated, and there was a lot of great stuff that year that did. So,
well, if you're gonna do that, at least I don't like how Best Picture is the only one that got expanded. There's always more than 5 good actors every decade. I mean, every year. This is what they should do.
This is what makes award shows kind of stupid.
This is what they have to do, in my opinion, to fix the Oscars. Keep the up to 10, except it's always 10. One of those, if you're going to have a black movie, include a musical. Include a blockbuster. Include a this. Make it like the Tolkien pick for the genre. That way you have someone to root for. In the same way that Mad Max was like the Black Horse last year, except it was also really deserving to be on the awards. Do that every year. This year, there weren't the best superhero movies, but you could have picked one. Fucking, I don't know. I don't know which one you picked, but
Batman vs Superman would not have gotten it, man.
Of course not. But hey, the extended,
and that's the most worthy.
The director's cut.
Yeah.
No, Deadpool is most worthy. Deadpool could have been nominated.
Deadpool's not even that great.
It isn't.
Honestly.
But like I said, I haven't seen Hidden Figures.
It's like, well, populist picks, like, I don't know, then you're no better off than the Golden Globes at some point.
Anyway,
I really got
this is what I think they should really do. Eliminate Best Actor and Best Actress, make it a unisex category. 10 picks for Best Actor, 10 picks for Best Supporting Actor. No sexes. One award. You know how much time that would save in the ceremony? Half.
Try to convince them of that.
You would get double the time because you wouldn't have to give out twice the amount of awards. And
how many people would support that?
Everyone would support that because it would break out the gender barrier. There would no longer be a segregation of the sexes in an equal category. You should not be qualified based on what genitalia you got. Either you're a good actor or you're a bad actor.
People don't like there is that, like, people want more diversity and more acceptance.
That
there,
is
but they
diversity.
Also like being but they also like being classified in their own little bubble.
It's the only category, which is bullshit.
It's too. Yeah, I know. It's like there's never a balance there, no matter what.
Imagine if they had best male director, best female director. You know how crazy Hollywood would get over that? They'd fucking riot.
That would be bullshit. Yeah,
they would riot. But they could make that in the way that it's gone so like crazy. If you follow anyone on Twitter. Only X number of female directors have done this shit.
Stupid. Once you start separating more people, though, then they already get more divided. But then, the acting categories are already like that. It's
bullshit.
It's a mess. It really is.
In the same way that they used to have a best child actor category, bring that back.
Did they?
Kinda, yeah. Bring that back. Okay? In the same way, they used to have best black and white, best color, best talkie, best silent. You can easily still do that. Who gives a fuck about best short film? Best foreign film? Like, especially since the foreign film Oscar is so busted anyway. Get rid of all the categories that no one cares about. Do it exactly like the Grammys. Just give those awards out, not on TV. And then open it up for more live music celebrations. You know how mad I am still that the Muppets weren't allowed to do a performance at the 2009 Oscars? When they fully deserved it, they went, no.
2009?
Was it 2010? 2011, actually. They fully deserved to go on stage and perform. And they went, no, we're trying to make it shorter so we can get a better audience. Let's not put music in the show that is indebted to music.
Dude, I just don't give a shit about the Oscars. Like,
I want to give a shit again. I want people to give a shit. It's still one of the most televised events every year. It just is. The only thing that
to me, it's just not that important. Like, in the grand scheme of
no,
things,
it definitely isn't.
Some people can enjoy it. I'm just kind of like, all right, fine. But
the reason it's important, or quote unquote important, is because out of all the major award ceremonies, it's the one that generally gets it right most. or it's the one that
I don't think that's true ever of any award show. I don't even think there is a right.
I'm saying out of all of the ones, out of the Grammys, the Emmys, the Tonys, the People's Choice Awards, the Television Choice Awards, all that shit, Billboard, out of all of the varied award ceremonies on TV, it's the one where both the world at large, the industry it's a part of, the fans, the critics, most people agree. Maybe not in all the categories, especially not Best Picture, but for most of the other things, yeah, like the movie world generally agrees. And it's like kind of like scripture. Like when it comes to the Grammys, no one gives a fuck about the Grammys. Like Kanye West didn't win a Grammy this year. Adele won Best Recording, and she said herself during the ceremony, she's like, this should go to Beyonce or whatever. I don't give a fuck about that. But the fact that even the people that were there this year were claiming how unimportant it was in a way. Like Chance the Rapper won Best New Artist. He shouted out SoundCloud in his acceptance speech, and the reason is because he just won a Grammy for the first internet streaming only album. It was never released physically, which is kind of a big deal, except it's not because it's the Grammys and no one cares about the Grammys. Like, they gave David Bowie Best Rock Song. He's dead, and no one listened to his latest album anyway. The fact that the Grammys just, like, the way their calendar works, it goes from, like, February to January instead of January to December. It never makes sense. It's never made sense. I've never watched the Grammys, or if I have, it was, like, for a very specialized reason, like, so-and-so is performing. But the Oscars, even though I don't watch it every year, I, like, at the very least, hate watch it. I like live tweeting it to point out their mistakes. Like 2 years ago, they cut out the audience, audio for the in memoriam section, so you couldn't hear their peers applauding the people that died. So it was like somber and silent and super stupid. Or like, just every year there's an issue because it's always stupid for some other reason. It always goes too long.
To me, that just seems like a waste of time. Like,
there's greater wastes of times. Like, considering I don't watch any of the other award ceremonies anymore, it's like, 3 hours once a February, whatever. It gives me something to talk about. At the very least, on the episode that we do following it, on Twitter in the moment, when I'm talking to people for the next couple of weeks or whatever. Or anything at all. Plus, there's sometimes there's cool surprises that happen, or like maybe the host is actually really good. Like I hope Jimmy Kimmel's really good. But yeah, I'm serious. Like, get rid of the actor-actress segregation. That would change things. That would make it gender equality in Hollywood. It's like they all want equal pay, they want equal billing, they want equal shit. Do it. You do that, Academy, especially considering your president's a woman. You do that. Hey, maybe more people will give a fuck. And you could make more awards.
I don't know. I don't see anyone campaigning hard for it. It's like...
It's because they don't know they want it yet. Just like they don't know that they want a black version of a movie that won Best Picture in 1983.
Well, they don't know what they want in general out of award shows. They just know that they're angry when they don't get something. Like, it's...
it's not even getting something. It's getting a nomination. The idea
they're just angry when they don't get one.
The idea on the internet for the last 2 years that white people are evil because only they were nominated for the acting categories is like the fucking biggest fuck you I've lived through in a while. It's like, I didn't watch every movie, but the Academy votes for the people that are nominated.
Well, it's stupid. Like, I mean, in general, like, I can't classify how to rank performance because usually for a professional production, everyone's bringing their A game no matter what the movie is. And it's like, to me, it's just about the art at the end of the day. I think seriously don't give a shit about a trophy.
For that category, I think it comes more down to how it affects you, how it
is more of like a social thing.
Yeah, it's like how it affects you.
It's like I see that, but then it's like,
also,
good God, like, is this really gonna be what represents this issue right now? Like, when there's so many more important shit that we can take care of. Like, when you bring that to art, it seems really stupid to me.
Oh, sorry, typing shit, gender segregation. Got it. Something cool, though, and I might watch this one. Have you seen those Kyrie Irving, Uncle Drew basketball commercials for Pepsi he's done over the last couple of years?
I have not.
No? So, basically, the shtick is Kyrie Irving of the Cleveland Cavaliers, world champion Cavaliers, I guess you could say. Don's old man makeup. He looks like he's 80, and he goes around Rucker Park, Venice Beach, whatever, doing pickup games, like dunking on people and shit. Basically, Johnny Knoxville's bad grandpa, but on a basketball court. That's turned into a movie, which actually kind of sounds cool. So it's kind of being pitched as Color of Money meets Hoosiers, hopefully, in my opinion, with some Bad Grandpa mixed in, like I said. I don't know if this is going to be all scripted or some unscripted. It should be a mix of both if they want to, like, kind of capitalize on why the commercials work so well. But I wonder if this is a sports first. Is this the first time that two stars on the same team have been actively involved in all that way at the same time? LeBron James has, like, a Stars show. He's obviously, like, in stuff like Trainwreck. He's not in Space Jam 2, but I'm sure he's actually going to be in Space Jam 2. That's Blake Griffin. Yeah. I mean, Chris Paul does, like, TV commercials while Blake Griffin's, like, doing, like, making movies and stuff, too. So I guess maybe it's not the first time. But maybe LeBron will be in another movie by the time this comes out. And then, yeah, like, imagine, like, the two of them are in two movies together. Or not together, but at the same time or something.
Sure.
It's a funny note, but this is, like, a big-time product placement, because obviously this is a commercial.
Well, that's what Space Jam was, dude.
No, this is bigger than that. This is a commercial being adapted into a movie. And Pepsi...
Yeah, Space Jam was the same thing.
No. Space Jam is Warner...
It was based off a commercial, and then they saw it was a big hit. Michael Jordan was
sort
in
of,
it, and then...
but...
Yeah, and then Warner Brothers was like, oh, Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan apparently go together. Let's do that.
This is exactly more so than that, though, because Pepsi, the people behind the ad campaign, are bankrolling the production right now until it gets greenlit. Which I would have to imagine means part of that stipulation is that at least one character drinks Pepsi, like, in every other scene. I would think so.
Probably,
it's like,
yeah.
Are they at a restaurant? Yeah. What are they thirsty for?
It's going to be
Pepsi.
heavy product placement, but it was the same deal with Space Jam. It's just heavy product
Space
placement.
Jam's a classic, though. I mean, this could be a classic, too.
No, I grew up with it, too, man. It's not a good movie, but I have a soft spot for it.
I disagree. I think it is a good movie. I think it's a great family movie.
It is not a good movie.
It's a great family movie, not made by Disney.
Here's the deal: is like the reason we loved it as kids is not. It's not because it's a good movie. It's that we love the idea of it. The idea of Space Jam. That's what got
I'm
us.
steadfast on the idea
exactly
that it is a good movie. Not a great movie, but like I said, a great family movie not made by Disney. That's hard to do.
I still love the movie, but it's definitely not good.
Like, compare it to something like The Page Master, okay? Much rather watch Space Jam. Have you seen The Page Master?
I have not.
No? Well, I'll sell it to you.
No.
It's Macaulay Culkin being transported into a cartoon world where he learns about the power of books.
I heard it was really shitty.
It's not shitty. It's just it works pretty effectively. It's like
Macaulay Culkin had what? He had like just the John Hughes stuff, and then that's kind of it.
Did you just say the John Hughes stuff? I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's in Uncle Buck.
Yeah, there's Uncle Buck. There's Home Alone.
But I don't know. I don't like Uncle Buck. And Home Alone, I don't count as a John Hughes movie.
But those are productions.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, he was in a little bit more than that. He was in Problem Child 1 and 2.
My Girl.
Yeah, My Girl. There was like...
But those are the big ones,
basically. The two Home Alone movies. But there's like a couple other things that I'm not thinking of. But yeah, that's mostly it. But yeah, there's also The Page Master, which is just interesting. But like I said, it's in. What's cool about it is because just the setup. It's like, oh yeah, this kid is doing blah blah blah. He goes to the library like in the middle of a storm, and I don't even remember how it happens, but he gets like transported into a cartoon world, and then
it's kind of like Phantom Tollbooth.
I don't know if that is, and then he has like 3 book companions that are guiding him on his way, and each of them take him into a book, and then so it totally shifts genre. One of them is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is actually kind of spooky even still when I'm thinking about it right now, just the scoring. One of them is like is Moby Dick. One of them is like a couple other things. So it's like a series of short adaptations of classic books, which is kind of cool. And just, I don't know. I'd look into it. I don't know if you'd like it, but it's like a total like kiddie matinee that they would play at the New Bev. Like it's one of those kind of movies.
Yeah, no, I mean Phantom Tollbooth's also kind of like that. It's got the same premise of a live action boy going into a cartoon world, except it's directed by Chuck Jones.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, it's I have not seen that in forever. I want to actually watch that, but
I wonder.
Yeah, it was good.
Let me look up the Page Master real fast. I want to say the director is someone with notoriety. Like it's not just like a throwaway movie. I know I own it on VHS, but let me see. Page Master. I mean, it has a good title. It's just a good name right there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it sounds cool.
94.
Joe Johnston.
Is it Joe Johnston? Nice.
Yep.
So I knew it was someone good.
2 directors, but yeah, Joe Johnston's
Yeah, well,
one of
he
them.
only did the live action, which is like 10 minutes. But even
Yeah.
still, hey, even still. But the cast, Macaulay Culkin, Christopher Lloyd, Whoopi Goldberg, Patrick Stewart, Leonard Nimoy, Frank Welker, like, who produced it? Turner Pictures? That's weird. Yeah,
Turner Entertainment.
yeah. So, yeah, I would
It's a Fox family feature, so
check it out sometime. Listeners, too. I'd love to see what kind of feedback we get on that. If you can hunt that down, maybe everyone can rent my VHS copy from me. Going back to virtual reality, though, then the show, something not necessarily big, but kind of telling happened this week. Facebook, which is, mind you, still reeling from that ZeniMax court decision, has decided to shut down approximately 200 of their 500 Oculus demo stations inside Best Buys across the country. If you remember, listeners, if you listened back then, I did go to a Best Buy and demo a unit when there was like only 10 in the country. So this is right before this happened. So these shot up out of nowhere, especially around Black Friday. They were trying to capitalize on the holiday season. And now they're closing about half of them. One of the articles that I read about this claimed that the stations would go days sometimes without any appointments being booked and or units being sold, with the exception of the holiday season. And even during then, there was only like a handful per location. You could chalk that up to like how extreme of a computer setup you need or how pricey the headset is itself, not to mention the price of the touch controllers now. But I was at Best Buy a couple of days ago, and they didn't, I don't know if they had the demo station, but they had it on the floor, and I could see the touch controllers under the glass, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh yeah, it looks pretty cool. I wonder if that's going to even disappear. They're saying that they're going to rely on pop-up installations in the future because there's just so many different ways to demo VR now. You don't have to go to Best Buy. You can go to Microsoft stores. You can go to VR-specific events such as like Upload VR or like expos or E3 or Sundance, South by Southwest, film festivals, all kinds of different stuff you can do VR. And so they're looking for different opportunities. But like I said, I think this has more to do with the ZeniMax verdict and them trying to save money since they just gave away $500 million.
yeah.
Also,
I mean, at this point, like promotions are like for that, it's pretty much done. Everyone that's already done it is done.
it kind of is, and that's
like it's just one of those things that I think most people, like at least around here, like they're aware that it's there, and most people have tried it already, and either they're impressed with it or they think it's cool. But you know, not everyone's rushing to buy.
Anyone that really wants to experience VR has done it by now. There's countless opportunities around you via HTC, Oculus, and then also Sony when they were doing PSVR demos. You can get a Google Cardboard for almost nothing. You can get a Gear VR for a little bit more than that. There's
the HTC
so many.
always got commercials. Like everyone knows what it is at this point.
Not everyone. You'd be surprised, but yeah, a lot of people know what it is.
It's like they're at least mostly aware.
Most people are aware.
Like there's ads everywhere for this stuff. So
the other thing that happened this week, though, is that a PowerPoint slide leaked that indicates that Oculus is looking to expand into the AR realm, which is something that they've never really talked about up until now. So, there's like a roadmap basically in the next 10 years that they're looking to have, which I'm assuming every company wants to have. There's like a seamless AR experience that they can leverage their VR technology on, and whatever. But yeah, I wouldn't say this is sad news. 200 locations globally, 300 locations nationwide is still a lot. I doubt the one that I went to in Torrance is going to disappear just because that's a huge store. And they have the floor space for it anyway. But yeah, I think they jumped the gun on this. I didn't even know there was 500, like I said. Given that there is no killer app yet, there's no game that you must play, and also when I did the demo myself, they didn't even have the touch controllers yet, so I didn't even get sold on the true experience, as it were. But with like VR arcades popping up, and if Vegas is doing VR shit, and stuff like The Void, what they're capable of doing, or even the stuff that I play tested a couple of weeks ago, just I don't know, just like a vanilla Oculus experience where the demo is being done by a representative paid by the company to only demo certain things instead of having like just a free roaming experience. Like it was very much so like I had my hand held all the way up until like the game started, and then even still like she was talking in my ear telling me what to do, and it wasn't isolated. Like it was kind of weird. The opposite side of the spectrum, though, we had a closure of something known. This is the start of something new. This is very awesome, and I think I picked a great way to end the show with this. Upload VR demoed a pre-alpha build of the world's first underwater VR headset this week. There's a video that they posted. You can also read their impressions on their website. If you've never been there, uploadvr.com. It is by far the best source of VR news on the internet. This thing is designed to utilize refraction underwater while submerged to achieve greater immersion than on flat land. This video was awesome. The experiences that they had on hand was the first of which was a spacewalk, like around the International Space Station, and then the other one was meeting a school of fish underwater. And so the idea here is, when you're on when you're just in your natural habitat, you can get motion sickness. You're not exactly immersed because you know the ground under you. You don't feel the wind and whatever. Except when you're actually underwater, lots of different things are going on. Number one, you kind of have like zero gravity. If you're doing like a deep sea diving experience and you're underwater, you're going to really think you're there. Among other things, there's noise cancellation because you're in a fluid. And this prototype, which, like I said, this is pre-alpha. They don't even have a name for the company yet. It was developed by some guy that works at Discovery Digital and then his partner. I watched this video, though. Like, the headset itself is basically a Google Cardboard that is built within a scuba mask. It uses a waterproof phone, in this case a Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, and then it uses bone induction headphones so you can hear the experiences underwater as well. You have like a snorkel on. It's pretty cool. And what the guys behind this,
crazy.
yeah, really crazy. What they're striving for eventually is you can go to your local pool, put this headset on, and then go deep sea diving at the Great Barrier Reef once the technology catches up with you. When you have like an 8K display on the headset with a battery life that's long enough and it's going to be waterproof and whatnot, it's like, well, I don't have to go spend all this money going to Australia setting up this gig. Maybe a shark could kill me. Maybe my oxygen tank runs out. I've never gone scuba diving. Maybe I'll get the bends. Who knows what could go wrong? Just go to your pool. Go underwater. It's going to be like you're there. And that's kind of true. Once the fidelity is there, that you're not going to be able to tell anyway because you're not using your real eyesight. It's underwater. You're looking through a fucking mask anyway. So I love this idea. Technically, I could probably try that. I mean, I don't have the tech to have this custom-made headset, but I have I have a waterproof phone. Like, this is something that I could do currently, and I'm sure a lot of people out there, if you have a new iPhone or a Samsung device or a Sony phone like I do, like, there are lots of ways for this to be feasible for you. So I want to keep track on this. I hope Upload does it again, because what they were even talking about themselves is, like, for sensory deprivation tanks and stuff, and experiments in that nature, this would totally be a thing. Just from their impression, there's just the one guy there in the video on YouTube. He was saying, yeah, like he himself doesn't experience motion sickness, but he would think that this would limit that because you're just underwater. Like I don't know. I don't know exactly what else to say. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is that VR is not cemented. The future is still not written. And just as a medium itself, the rules aren't like hard yet.
They're not there's constant possibilities every day. Like
I read this pretty interesting article. I don't know if it was on The Verge or it was on Upload, and it was talking about how escape rooms are like the big thing now, and how that like ties into virtual reality, and then also like interactive theater and other different realms in terms of it's a certain experience that you're used to. And even like most VR experiences thus far that aren't games are kind of like, well, how do we take this and make it this way? For instance, like the Oculus Short Henry that won the Emmy, that would work on a 2D display, period. Like there's nothing about that says you have to do this in VR. In the same way that there's a lot of movies that go, you don't have to see this in 3D. Like for every Avatar, Prometheus, and Gravity, there's Clash of the Titans. But yeah, I'm excited about something like this. I wonder what's possible next. This came out of nowhere. Like I said, it doesn't even have a name. There's no release date. As of right now, this is just two guys playing with technology at its infancy and seeing what's possible in the near future. And it sounds like a really great idea, and I would like to see what this is like. But that's the show. That was 2 cents. This is Dollar Reviews. As I said earlier in the show, you can find us all over the place. Facebook, Twitter, now Instagram, WordPress, Tumblr. We're on Google Play Music, iTunes, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, dollarviews.net. Very easy. You can follow me personally, at Brian Gillis. Steve is S_MTX. So lots of ways to get to us, and we got very little ways to get to you unless you find us. So I hope it's been a pleasure. I hope you liked what you heard. I hope you hear from us again. We should be doing this for a little bit longer, but have a good week.
Take care.